it clicking.
Hello and welcome to the Party Dungeon. This is Dungeon Party. As always, I'm your DM Blake Peoples, and here is your cast. So Chelsea's mad. Michael supports the Eagles, and our Discord emotes are fucking blurry as shit when blown up that big.
I didn't realize it shows up over your face.
Yeah, right on top of your face.
Oh, it's so good.
Hello. Welcome to Dungeon Party. I just got a text from my dad about nose hair clippers. How's everybody doing?
The frog.
Good, baby.
The frog and the crab.
Well, we are here to play some Dungeons and Dragons. It's episode 2 of season 2 of Bright Futures. I'm very excited. I don't have any announcements to make personally. Yeah, actually, I have one announcement. We'll not be streaming next Sunday because of the Super Bowl.
Observe my
Who's playing?
tactics.
The birds.
Ow.
Thank you, Tommy,
Also,
for the resub. It's the birds. It's the birds are playing. So I don't even know if I'll have electricity at this time next week, to be fair.
The city will be engulfed in flames.
It might be.
Honestly, with either outcome.
Yeah.
The outcome. This place is going up.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's my only announcement. So we will be off next Sunday, but probably back the following Sunday for more of season 2. Does anybody else have any announcements or cherished bits that they would like to do?
Okay, everybody. It's time for another round of What's Chelsea Playing? Do 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 do. I'm trying to do the like news segment thing. We are checking in to our Tears of the Kingdom forecast in preparation for Tears of the Kingdom. It is 96 days until Tears of the Kingdom.
Really? Only 96 days?
I know.
Damn.
How far is Chelsea? Let's count it out. Shrines, 34. Koroks, 177.
Out of?
900.
You said that so proud, and then I asked for the total.
Remind me what the reward for doing all that is again.
And what do you get at the end?
I get personal satisfaction that I've been missing in my life.
You've already done it! You already did it,
Oh,
though!
yeah, wait. For those just tuning in to this treasured segment, Breath of the Wild 2 Electric Boogaloo Tears of the Kingdom comes out on May 12th. In honor of that, I decided to see... I'm just going to restart Breath of the Wild, see how far I can get. And then I made it my mission to get all 900 Korok seeds, all 120 shrines, again.
Again. You've already done that. No sane person does that more than once.
I'm not forcing myself to like beat Ganon or whatever again.
That's easier! That's easier than what you're
easier.
doing!
Listen,
I should really take up streaming because I have nothing to prove.
You should absolutely
that I've done this
stream.
twice.
Technically speaking, you can defeat Ganon in 24 minutes.
Yep.
You cannot get all the Koroks in 24 minutes.
That's clear talk.
Yeah, are you gonna speedrun 999 Koroks?
I'm not a speedrunner.
Well,
Oh my
you might get
gosh.
the record. I don't think anyone's ever done it
I
more than
did-
once.
I did. Wait. There's some fun rules. There's some fun rules though to my madness. So, whenever I enter a new region, first thing I have to do is I have to activate the tower for that region. Then I have to get at least half of the Koroks in that region. I have a list of how many Koroks are in each region,
Right.
and I have to get as many shrines as possible given what I have at that moment. So there's certain shrines that are like unreachable
Right.
if you don't have certain equipment or abilities yet. And I also can't like cut through one region to get to the next. As soon as I enter a new region, I'm
You have
hitting
to
that
do
tower.
thing, right. So what you're telling me is not only are you doing this for a second time, but you're doing it harder for the second time.
I mean, it's kind of what I did in the first
So-
in my first run. Except I prioritized shrines over Koroks. I think after defeating all divine beasts the first time, because I was going for story mode, lol. I think I only had like 125 Koroks. And that was without the map that I'm using now.
That's impressive.
Thank you, Zelda Dungeon.
I got like 30 Koroks ever, I think.
You're just really missing out.
Well, I 100%ed A Link Between Worlds, but that was not as bad. There were 100
there were only
total.
100 of those.
Yeah.
According to speedrun.com, the current Korok 100% speedrun sits at 22 hours and 40 minutes.
That feels quick. That feels insanely fast.
Wow. Holy
There's a
shit.
video,
Chelsea, you have your work
there's-
ahead of you.
there's VOD,
No, I'm
there's
not a
VOD to watch.
speedrunner.
I don't think I want to watch that, but
I feel like the only thing I could say I've technically speedrun in my life was like Tony Hawk's Underground, because I knew that game backwards and forwards. And I was 12.
I was really good at the Power Rangers SNES game. I could play the first level blindfolded.
Damn.
I don't think I could do that anymore, but
Is that the game that has one of the first levels? You're on top of a moving train.
no.
There is a Power Rangers game that me and Caitlin used to play growing up, and there's one of the first levels a train level, and we could never beat it.
I don't think so. I don't think that's an. To be fair, I haven't played it since I was like 12, but I don't remember that. But I'll boot up the old SNES and look.
Please do, please do.
All right.
But anyway, this has been another round of What's Chelsea Playing?
Nice.
Will I play other games between now and May? We'll see.
No.
you have a little bit more leeway actually. So for all shrines and all Koroks, it's 38 hours. So
Oh, you got it.
that's an extra 16 hours you got.
Great.
Yeah.
All right.
This is a no speed run channel / not a channel at all.
Well, it is a no speedrun channel. If you've ever seen me play a video game.
Yeah.
We call our Final Fantasy clears World's Last. So
When's the last time we got a clear?
it's been a while.
Exactly.
All right. I want to rock.
Rock. Whoa.
That got one person.
Whoa. Holy shit, dude.
In the thing of Tommy reads something from a book that he found, you have two options.
Okay.
Letters from a self-made merchant to his son, because
Iconic.
I think those are fun.
Classic.
Or we can look for smut in the unseen hands.
I want to do the not porn
Smut.
one.
Smut.
I would like. I vote the letters.
We have one. We have
Okay.
one for smut, one for not smut.
Okay, we
I believe I said smut like 5
DPS
times,
nat
but
20 for
okay.
smut. Cat heart-shaped eyes.
I can't
for
do that.
Uh-oh, we got two.
Wait, this isn't fair. I'm doing my nails.
Well, you've got
I
2
voted
votes
for
smut, 1 vote
Voted
not
for
smut.
smut.
Come on. But it's Winfield and Peter. I know what they're gonna fucking vote.
Oh,
actually
we
not
got two for
voting.
letters.
Well,
Yeah, Peter.
You have to vote. You're the tiebreaker.
What was it? It was cat eyes, I believe, was this.
These are your options.
Smut is D20. Cat eyes is not smut.
No smut. please.
Oh no, we have to read from letters.
The
from
two
a
people who
self-made
I was
merchant
sure
to
were
his
gonna
son.
vote smut voted with me.
Look how old this book is.
Yeah,
This
that's-
book is
that's
like
cool.
pre like.
You know,
It's
Pre-college.
yeah.
I think the beauty of Tommy's bit is when he
Pretty
reads some really obscure book that nobody would ever own. Like the
fucking-
gardening book.
So
You
let's
get
do this.
sued.
So by George Horace Lorimer. Somebody pick a page.
28. 28.
28. All right, this is early. This is super early.
Yeah, I want to get a
Paragraph
vibe.
3, last sentence.
Backstory.
All right,
man.
paragraph 3, last sentence. Page 28 is actually not a page at all.
What?
So we're not going to do that. Page 29. Here we
Yeah.
go. All right. There's a chance for everything you have learned from Latin to poetry in the packing business, though we don't use much poetry here except in our streetcar ads. And about the only time our products are given Latin names is when the State Board of Health condemns them. This book rules.
Wait,
This
that's
book absolutely rules.
gold, actually.
Yeah,
Show of
this
hands,
is
who took Latin in high school?
not I.
Just you, I think. I took Japanese instead because I'm a dirty weeb.
I mean, that's cool though that your school had that.
Well, we yeah.
Okay.
We had a lot more Japanese people living in my town than we do over here.
Right, that's fair. We had to, freshmen were required to take Latin, and then after Latin you could take French or Spanish.
That's sick as fuck, actually.
But I stuck with Latin and went all the way up to AP.
Damn. Okay.
I was not good at AP Latin.
Our
Sounds
for us,
tough.
our middle school was like a year of Latin, a year of French, and a year of Spanish. And then once you got to high school, you got to pick which one you continued with.
Wow.
Okay.
Everyone just picked Spanish.
Yeah, I mean, I got my language requirement. I took Spanish because I'd taken that elementary school through high school. But then I had some extra credits my senior year, so I took Japanese because I was like, whatever. And it's a lot of fun. One of my favorite classes I took, actually.
Yeah, I took French, but then the French teacher got fired in the beginning of the school year. But she was able to like go throughout, finish the school year. So
What
then
did she
just
do?
She just every class she put on Mean Girls in English. So.
That's amazing.
Je ne parle pas français.
At least, I mean, my German teacher put on Chicken Little in English, but at least she put the subtitles on in German.
My math teacher spent the first or my geometry teacher, sorry, spent the first 3 weeks of our 8th grade school year showing us repeatedly a documentary about how bad the meatpacking industry is in America. For what reason, I have no idea, but that did
Passionate.
happen to me.
Has everyone read The Jungle by Upton Sinclair?
Yeah.
Say.
Oh.
All right. Oh, no. Go for it. Sorry.
No,
I interrupted you.
Coolest thing about my elementary school was, hopefully none of you are watching this, the science teacher and the principal hooked up, and they were both married.
Oh!
Funniest thing was when I heard, I was like, oh yeah, their offices were across from each other. That makes sense. Because I was like 12 or something when it happened.
Because
That makes
people
sense.
in close proximity have to hook up.
They have
That's the rule.
I mean, that's college for you.
Well, I mean...
In 7th grade, my social studies teacher got, he wasn't fired because he was tenured, but he got like suspended or something because he spent a whole class period separating the students in the class on whether they would be killed in the Holocaust.
Oh? God.
Yeah.
Cool guy.
Yeah, I was
That's
killed.
rough.
None of my like teacher getting fired stories are appropriate to share
Yeah,
on stream.
neither are mine. They got pretty dark. But all right, does anybody else have any announcements? Michael, you've got 30 seconds if you want it.
I was gonna save it for the end as like a nice cool off time.
We're not gonna do it at the end. That's not how the ends of these streams work. Now is the time.
Okay, I just like, and did anyone else watch the Orlando's VGC regional tournament? Congratulations, Wolf Click, on his amazing positioning in a Parish Trap team, but this time not using Lapras, but Greentail, which we were not expecting as a Paradoxmon in this tournament. But you know, it's the world champ difference is what I like to say.
Can you come commentate me in Phoenix's Pokepain streams like that?
Can I?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Can you leave the Valorant 5-stack and become the commentator on our gameplay?
Oh my god, that
We just stream it to you and you just that's your contribution. Or you know what, you can be in the game, you just don't have to leave
I'm
spawn.
so
You can just
bad
hang
at this game. You want me to not play?
Michael, you did better than me the last time we played.
No, but I'd love to. I think announcing is fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Pokepain Tuesday, I'm there.
I'll tell Phoenix.
I know far too much about Pokemon because I listened to a competitive Pokemon podcast to go to bed for years.
Wow.
All right, well, why don't we go ahead and jump into Bright Futures? How's that sound, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't write a
No dice
recap.
rolls.
I forgot. But I'm getting back in the swing of things, too. But why don't we just hop in to what happened last time? A promotion for my channel? No way! I can pay to have a famous channel on Twitch? No way! All right, let's fucking jump into the recap. So, last time on Bright Futures. You know what? I actually want that last song to play again because I like it a lot.
I like you a lot.
Aw. last time on Bright Futures, our heroes made their way back to school. They've gotten up to some interesting things over the summer, not the least of which, buying a house. They returned to school, they decorated their new, or they planned for the decorations for their new, much nicer dorm room, which somebody has scribbled, I love you all over except for turn, which says I love you, rip. He's not dead. He's fine. Yes, Turn did not return because he is on an independent study at the moment, trying to find his memories, because he's not a patient lad, and he wanted to get them as quick as he could. After that, they met their underclassmen, some interesting characters. A former noblewoman who is attempting to be a knight, a friend of some of these students from in town this summer who they didn't realize was joining the program. Fearbog with social anxiety who juggles. A kid with a sword and a claw. Elias, who they all knew from last time, and a smooth-talking half-elf who used to be part of a criminal syndicate elsewhere in the world. We ended last stream as they were going to bed for the first night back, and in the morning, they were going to go to class. And in fact, that is where we are going to pick up. We'll pick up right in the morning as, I don't know, is anybody getting up early or...
Shandi up at the crack of dawn every day.
Oh, you know it.
Yep. And
Luna's brought a French press from home.
Well, yeah, we have a full kitchen
Asking
now.
if other
you have a
people...
little kitchen, yeah.
Yeah, she's asking if other people want coffee.
Shandi will take like a coffee before he goes on his. Even though he hasn't been told that there's calisthenics this morning, he's going to go and do calisthenics anyways.
Okay,
Septon's not going to do calisthenics, but he will make breakfast if anyone wants to join him
Nice.
for breakfast.
What are you making?
well, Una's making coffee.
I'm on the coffee,
Heather's
you're on the
making some Bloody
breakfast.
Marys.
You know what?
Oh no! No!
How long are people down to eat breakfast for? Anybody down to join me for an hour as we eat breakfast?
How much time do we have?
If you're waking up this early, you've got plenty of time. Class
Great.
isn't until 9, so.
Yeah.
It's a class day, right?
Big day one breakfast.
Shandi's gonna just take a shot of coffee. He's gonna take a piece of toast, put it in his mouth, and jog out the door.
Fucking toast coon over here. Sure enough, Sheena is running calisthenics, so you see the guards getting ready to work out. But Everett was about to say something.
Yeah, so Sheena shows up to the place where calisthenics happens.
The
and
arena, yeah.
The arena, and Everett's already there doing push-ups, and he's like, she walks in, he's like, no days off.
Oh, I'm impressed to see you here. You didn't used to join us for these.
What can I say?
Okay. And other guards begin showing up in their workout clothes. Sean D comes running over with bread in his mouth. And she begins the laps around the lake, leading the laps around the lake. Everett, why don't you get an athletics check for me? And Shandi, I mean, you're here.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Who stayed for eating breakfast for an hour?
The other ones.
Me and Una.
All right. I'm trying to
19 for
decide the
Shandi.
effect I'm gonna put on this breakfast.
No.
9 for Everett.
Okay, Shandi, you keep pace with the guards. Like, you're up there running with them. You're doing your thing. Everett, you quickly fall behind. Your little legs just can't carry you fast enough.
Deception check to see if I can play it off like I meant to do that.
Performance check, yes.
Performance check? Okay, fair enough. Natural 1.
You eat shit like immediately. You run and you trip over your feet and you just land on the ground. And Sheena jogs in place and waits. Is like, are you okay? Do you need to take a break?
I'm fine.
Are you sure? You don't want to push yourself on the first day. You don't want to overexert yourself. Hey, maybe you should.
I'm fine.
Maybe you should take a break. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And she's just gonna keep jogging around. Shandi, you pass by Everett a few times as you make your laps around the lake. All right, Septon, what are you making for breakfast?
I've been making a sweet breakfast.
What is that? What are you making?
Rolls. Gonna make some rolls and such. But if anybody hangs around for an hour while they're eating, I'm just gonna play a little tune on the fiddle.
All right.
And anybody who sticks around, because I made a sweet breakfast, can stay awake for the day without taking exhaustion.
We're
Nighter.
wired.
On the first day of classes, I can get so far ahead.
You can literally just be awake until tomorrow's breakfast.
I can
Oh
talk
my
to you
gosh.
all night.
We can talk all night.
Except and put cocaine in the breakfast.
Yeah.
No, you guys,
That wasn't
Bloody
sugar.
Marys and coffee.
you guys just feel
Double
very
C breakfast.
energized as he plays.
Cocaine and coffee.
He plays a nice upbeat ditty on his fiddle, and you feel energized. You feel ready for the day.
Feeling good.
Oh, and you
Feeling
can't be put to
good.
sleep magically.
Nice.
Or
I don't think that'll happen.
or non-magically. Sleep
Yeah,
effects do not affect you.
Septon just didn't want to fall asleep through through any of his classes on the first day.
You know, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, cool. Yeah. Is there's anything else anybody wants to do before class starts? Your big first orientation class? Then let me know.
Just real quick, Heather's just gonna poll Una and Septon during breakfast. What is the smartest animal?
Dolphin, octopus.
Spoken like a true beach kid.
Well, they're also some really smart animals. They just happen to live in the ocean, okay?
I don't know, probably like I'm trying to think of like an animal from the Feywild that can like speak.
Most.
Septon. Unicorns.
Oh yeah, are we talking magical or non-magical?
I'll rephrase. The smartest animal you think I've seen.
Oh,
A little dramatic.
What have you?
Some
Give me
of us are retching. Some of us are retching out on the track right now. A little respect.
What animals have you seen?
Forest, a lot of fish, bugs.
I think I've heard monkeys are pretty smart, like for animals, right? Have you
Okay.
seen a monkey?
Yeah. Any particular reason, Tether?
I'm trying to be better at school.
I realized a trip to the zoo
Oh.
is like a huge thing for a druid.
Yep.
That's like a
What's
power
a zoo?
boost. Are there zoos in this world?
There's
actually?
one zoo in this world.
Do we know about it?
Is it in? Wait, is it in the?
Televane? Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Televane.
Yep.
Septon's never been there.
Nope.
But I've been
Septon,
there.
you don't know about that. Those zoos are probably conceptually a thing that exists in the Feywild, but they're more about, they're not for animals.
Are there
Don't
apes
like that.
just in general?
Yeah, you guys live not too far away from a jungle that is filled with apes. The Ebon jungle has like big monkeys in it.
Gonna start planning some field trips.
Would all druids,
I feel like we need a monkey companion.
would all druids like make a pilgrimage to Televane to go to the zoo and just wildly expand?
I think most druids probably don't like the concept of a zoo, considering
Yeah,
what druids
that
are
feels-
about.
True, but you
Yeah,
could
it
get
was
so much more
bad.
powerful just walking through a zoo.
Zoos are created by dark druids.
On this continent there is one Zune. It's in Zune. There's only one Zune.
That's the legendary item. we're
That's-
looking for.
that's your
One
relic.
to rule them all.
There's one zoo. It's in Televane, and Una, you've probably heard of the zoo in Televane. You've heard of Televane. It's the biggest city in the continent. Like, it's massive. It's
Oh,
a
Okay,
metropolis.
yeah.
But
Heather, I think you'll be fine just being yourself.
Okay.
And like, who knows, if you learn something as an octopus, will you retain that as you know?
Okay, I'll keep that in consideration. But you know what? It's always good to experiment.
All right. Anything else anybody wants to do? Everett, you get given like a whole bucket of water to just recuperate. And Sheena pats you on the back and says, come back next time. Don't start so strong, and I think you'll be better off.
I can't help it.
You gotta pace yourself.
It's in my nature.
Okay. Well, pace yourself, otherwise you're gonna vomit every day.
I'm gathering my journals and books. Got a little book bag.
Shandy's gonna swing by Everett and be like, do you want like...
Before you can say anything, Everett's like, nice workout.
Oh,
feels good.
Well, thank you. Do you want like a lift to class? I can... You look like you can...
Why?
Okay.
Why do you ask?
Well, I passed you 6 or 7 times, and you were, to put it bluntly, heaving on the track.
Everett's just like, oh, yeah, that, yeah, no, I'm doing better now. It's just something.
Everett, I can set you down before we enter. Nobody has to know about this.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's
Okay.
fine. Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine. Thank you, I guess. I don't know. Get out of here.
Okay, well, I'll see you in class then.
Okay.
When Una, Septon, and Tether leave the house, Tether's gonna turn into an ape.
Does that affect your int score?
I feel like pulled the stat block for ape.
Pulling up stat block for ape. Int is 6, -2, but I do keep mine. Thank you very much.
That's true. He's a druid, so his int actually doesn't
True,
change.
yeah.
What was the point of this?
There isn't. There isn't one.
Una is gonna come back out after gathering her things, and she had a little green notebook ready, and she was gonna give
Wait.
Tether.
What kind of ape, Michael? Important.
Important.
Is it like a chimp, or are you like an 8-foot-tall gorilla in the kitchen?
I'm a silverback.
Oh my god.
No, I said when I left, so I wasn't inside the building.
Yeah. You're just in the doorway as a silverback, and Una comes out with her journal, and you see a silverback gorilla.
Ooh.
Do you want this, or I can hold on to it because you don't have any pockets right now? Oh no. I'm gonna put it in your giant hand.
My giant green fungal decaying hand.
Mm-hmm.
A silverback to a halfling is like...
That's really big. I probably come up to maybe his forearm.
All right, and you begin to head
Maybe mid
towards...
bicep, maybe.
You begin to head towards class. And as you do, you pass by Sheena and the guards, and Sheena looks at you and says, Tether, come on. First day, good impression. Switchback.
You're not gonna be able to fit through the door, it's too narrow. Are you on all fours, or are you doing the upright gorilla?
I was upright.
Good. That's the best. The gorillas at their best.
As you switch back, Sheena comes up and says, just... Let's try to... She says to all of you.
Wait,
Let's
did
try
you
to
switch
behave.
back?
Yeah, well, he made a sound, so I figured he did. Did you? Or did you not?
Yeah, I did. I
Okay.
don't want to cause drama. I want to get to the class.
She says, let's try to behave just the first day, folks.
Always.
Not always. I mean, this time last year, you were on house arrest because you all broke the one rule.
This time last year, we were being lured towards our death.
That too.
Yes, I know.
Our behavior is not the ones in question.
Well, it is now. Let's start this year right, eh?
Yeah.
She puts her hand on your shoulder, Tether, and says, just save it for tactics class. I'm sure your new professor will love that. And then
Okay.
she heads out.
Wasn't she one of the possessed people last year trying to kill us?
Yep. Deeply and entirely not her fault, but yeah, she was.
Michael
Um,
doesn't see a difference. Not Tether. Michael doesn't see it.
All right, you head into the Tower of Study and you follow the signs to the exact same room that your first class happened on a year ago. This time, however, the room is practically packed. Not only are all of the other students there, sort of just like sitting awkwardly in a clump together. Most of them aren't really sure what to say to each other yet. They met yesterday. They're all just books. They're all just right there. There are also a ton of adults, a far cry from the 3 that were present during your first such meeting. Notably, Casimir Orion sits in the front of the room, flanked on one side by Mrs. Lee, and on the other by not Captain Sheena, because she's outside. So, whoops. She's got Mrs. Lee next to her. Mrs. Lee is next to Casimir Orion. To his left stand 2 figures, Elitha and a halfling woman you don't recognize. And to his right, a large group is sitting, mostly made up of familiar faces. You see Averth, Agile Masked Windrunner, a cleaned-up Hazelfast Emberly, Mr. Lee, Steelfist Evelyn, Grenay, Baronet Rogier Betrell from Salos, who delivered you that pauldron, and a dwarven woman you don't recognize. As you all file in, you wait there for a moment. It doesn't seem like things have started quite yet. People are talking with each other. And then finally, Colrell enters, being pushed along by Captain Sheena. So sorry I'm late. I had many things to attend to, you understand. And Sheena's like, yeah, okay. And pushes them over to join Elitha and the halfling, and Captain Sheena takes her place next to Orion. And as they all stand there, people start to quiet down, and Orion will stand up very shakily. He'll grab a cane and pull himself to his feet, and he will speak. He says, "Welcome, and welcome back to the Bright Futures Initiative. With your help, we hope this year will be full of learning, academic challenge, and great growth. Some of you were here in our pilot year and experienced the growing pains of our fledgling program, and I'm sure you will agree that they led to a very rocky start for all involved. We have spent the time since then effortlessly toiling to craft a system that will work better for us, but more importantly, for you, the lifeblood of the program, our students. Things will be working slightly differently from here on out. Please bear with us as we tweak things. We are, too, still learning. Suggestions are always welcomed, and if you feel if something is not working, please do not hesitate to let myself or Mrs. Lee know, and we will work on fixing it. It is my ardent desire for this school to be a place for good, and for you talented few who enroll here to go on to lead great lives. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I think it will be a bright one." And then he sits back down. There's like a smattering of applause from some of the adults in the room. And Runia sort of awkwardly joins in and then realizes none of the students are clapping and stops clapping immediately.
Everett leans over to Sean D, and he's like, "Wait, why are they effortlessly preparing? Shouldn't they be putting in more effort? Isn't that kind of the
I think that
point?"
was just, they were trying to spin it to make it feel like, oh, this is, it's not going to be a huge effort. Like, this is going to be an easy switch to make, which I think is, we all know it's a bit of a lie, but, well.
It sounds to me like they're taking days off.
Well,
Realize I put the wrong word in that speech, but here we go.
well, Everett, we'll have to talk. We can talk about days off later because I believe a day or two off can be a healthy way to improve yourself. Everybody needs a day off sometimes, but this is something we can talk about. Let's schedule boys' chat tonight. In the zone between our rooms, the boys will come together and we'll chat about days off. I'm sure
All right.
Septon will be fine with this.
That is gonna start an only days off mentality.
Start.
All right, Mrs. Lee then steps forward and begins to explain things. She says, "Hello, my darling little chickadees. I'm Mrs. Lee. As you all know, I'm the head administrator. So, the big first thing is that this year, in addition to your 3 core classes, you will also be afforded the opportunity to take electives. Electives are classes more tailored to specific niches than the general core curriculum, and each of those classes will meet once a week instead of once a day. Electives are called this because you can elect out of any class that does not interest you. That being said, you are required to take at least 2 electives, and we don't recommend taking every single one. That will be a lot of work, but you are not forbidden from it if you don't want to. This first week, you should attend the classes that you're interested in taking, but you don't need to make an official decision until week 3. If you don't like a class, or you feel as though you've missed something out, you can start attending in these first 2 weeks. But week 3, it'll be solid, it'll be your class schedule, and that'll be that. And these are your electives teachers, and I will let them introduce themselves. And she steps back, and they all look around briefly before Agile Mask steps forward. Says, "Hey, I'm Agile Mask. I teach survival on Monday mornings. It's a pretty important class if you want to survive in general." Okay. And then he turns around and goes back. Mr. Lee takes a few steps forward and he says, "Hello."
Or gym teacher vibes.
He says, "Hello, my name is Olmander Lee. I used to be a successful businessman in the area before I retired, so I will be teaching you economics. If you're interested in that, it'll be Monday afternoons. So, looking forward to it." He takes a few steps back, and Mrs. Lee says, "And survival will be replacing your tactics classes on Mondays as well." Hazlefast.
So
Sorry.
we'll all be taking that no matter what. That's not an
No.
elective?
So you each have. The way we'll get to it, but the way most days.
Don't worry about it. don't
Okay.
worry about it.
Next up, Hazelfast Emberlease takes a step forward and he says, I know some of you, though I don't remember meeting you, unfortunately. But I am Hazelfast Emberly. I'll be teaching Magitech. I was once a court wizard of the Empire and a member of the Arcane Foundry, the primary Magitech forge of this empire. So I know quite a bit. If you have any interest in the unique technology of our empire, then join me on Tuesdays for Magitech courses. And he takes a couple steps back. Next up is the dwarf you don't recognize. She takes a few steps forward. She's older. She has a strong build with rust-colored long hair and a bushy beard. And she does have the emblem of the Brotherhood of the Earth and Grasp, a very, very famous mercenary company on her leather sort of jerkin. She says, "Nice to meet you. My name's Emma Ralstonfort. I teach up at Felfort College, this same course. I teach monster studies. I have quite a bit of experience tracking and killing monsters, and in my old age, I have taken to teaching what I know about monsters, their weaknesses, their habits, their strengths, where you can find them, different varieties. My class will be Wednesday evenings. It will be a night class because I will be coming from Felfort most days. So, also, depending on how many signups we get, we might do some field work if you're interested in that sort of thing." And she steps on back. Next up, Grenay and Evelyn both step forward. Grenay doesn't seem like he wants to be there at all. But Evelyn says, "I'm Steelfist Evelyn. This here's Grenay. We're gonna be 2 of the teachers for the handicrafts class. If you want to learn a craft, this is the class to join. Anything to add?" And Grenay says, "I do not think so." She goes, "Great." And the 2 of them swiftly step to the back. Next up, Averth Railsinian steps forward and he says, Hello, I'm Aver Thralsinian, and I will be teaching spellcraft on Friday afternoons. It will focus on the creation of arcane magics and formulas, creating spells. Even if you don't have any arcane ability, it will be an interesting class. So I do hope to see some of you there. Thank you. And then last, Baronet Rogier Bottrell steps forward and says, and on Friday mornings, I will be teaching a culture class. This will include etiquette. This will include various world cultures and history, creating that culture. If you take my class, you will become a denizen of the world, able to fit in any community you find yourself in. It is what I specialize in as an ambassador, and I am happy to share it with the students here. And he takes a step back. And Mrs. Lee says, and those last two, not only are they elective teachers, but they are liaisons to the Extant Sortilegium and Salos, respectively, as we have formed a bit of a relationship with both of those places. So if you're curious about either of those things, then you should take their classes. So does anyone have any questions?
I have an out-of-character question.
Okay.
Is the last time we saw the Baronet when we fucking abandoned him at the meat stand?
Yes, that is the last time you saw this guy.
Okay, just wanted to confirm that was...
When is the Baronet's class?
It's
Friday.
morning. Friday morning.
What was the group that the dwarf?
The the Brotherhood of the Earth and Grasp. You don't even have to make a check on that. You actually grew up near their headquarters. The Brotherhood of the Earth and Grasp is like the mercenary company of Renarcia, of the continent. How old is the dwarf? Look. She's pretty old. She's in her 2nd century probably.
Okay. Is that different from Brotherhood of the Earth and Fist, or did
It
you
is
just
that.
call it something different?
Did I call
in
it
these
something
notes?
different in those notes?
In my summer notes, yeah.
Yes, it is the Earth and
Earth and Fist.
No, Earth and Fist is the right one. I wrote the wrong thing here.
Okay.
Out-of-game question. This is the room that also has the trapdoor in the ceiling that leads to the aviary, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Heather realized that when she went in, and she just has been looking up and thinking about it the whole time. She hasn't been
Okay.
really absorbing anything. She'll just be like, Septon, do you think the parrots are doing well up there?
What?
The parrots?
I don't know. Sorry, I'm trying to pay attention.
Mrs. Lima says, culture will replace politics on Fridays. So the way that your courses work, you have your 3 core courses, and we'll get into those in a minute here. And each of those happens every single day, with the exception of Mondays and Fridays. You'll have no tactics class on Monday and no politics class on Friday. That is all. If anyone has any questions for any of our elective teachers or any of the administration.
I have a question for the DM.
Yes?
Tactics.
You said
Thank you, Sean.
politics happens every day,
Mhm.
except Friday.
Yes.
Because the culture elective is Friday?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
it's been scheduled that way. You don't know if it's because, but like...
Right, but you also said the culture would replace...
I did, yeah. It replaces politics for that day, but it's not a required class.
I get it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Are there any questions? Are they free? All right. Well, then you are free to go.
Parakeets up there too.
And I am looking forward to working with you all. And all the electives teachers sort of say their goodbyes and shuffle on out. Casimir Orion is escorted out by Sheena as well, and Mrs. Lee is left with the 3 teachers. And she says, all right, and I believe I all spoke to all of you about clubs already, yes? Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Well, you know where to find me if you'd like to start a club. And she says that to you and to your underclassmen. And then says, all right, well, enjoy your first joint class. So long, my little chickadees. You know where to find me if you need anything. And she heads out. They all leave, and you are left alone with Corel, Elitha, and your new tactics professor. She is a halfling that stands about 4 feet tall. She has dark hair, cropped short and sharp brown eyes. Her golden brown skin is sea-weathered, and she sports a grin that favors the left side of her mouth. She looks quite strong, her well-defined muscles rippling out from her sleeveless vest. She carries a sleek hand crossbow at one hip and a curved golden blade at the other. Most of her fingers, with the exception of both thumbs, her left pointer finger and her right ring finger, are missing, and have been replaced with steel digits, each embedded with a small sapphire near the knuckle. She's just looking around, sort of. She's definitely giving all of you a size up. She's not looking at you like a teacher right now. She's looking at you as though, like, could I take them? Probably. Could I take them? Probably. Could I take that? Like, she's evaluating you all with her eyes right now, and just sort of leaning back against the desk with her arms crossed.
Everett flexes.
She laughs out loud when you do that. This is gonna be interesting. No response. Elitha steps forward and says, "Hello, I am Elitha Veerwarden. Some of you know me already. It is good to see you again. I hope your summer's treated you well. And for the rest of you, I will be your academics teacher." Colrell steps forward next and says, "My name is Colrell. I will be your politics teacher, and I've got to say, I have been called the best teacher of the three many times before, and I hope to retain that title this year." And Elitha looks a little sad, and the halfling smirks. And finally,
Did the tactics teacher give their name?
not yet.
Oh, okay.
She is now is now her turn. She's stepping forward and she says, "The name's Luca, but my crew called me Steelbolt. I'm gonna be your new tactics teacher, and it should be interesting." Yeah, you know what? I think it'd be boring to just introduce myself. I'm the new kid on the block, so to speak. So I'd love to hear if you have any questions about me, and I'll field it that way. Feels like more interesting. Yeah.
So, would you prefer us as students to call you Luca or Steelbolt?
You can call me whatever you want.
All right.
It's honestly up to you. I've been called a lot of things. I've been called the Admiral. I've been called Steelbolt. I've been called Brass Knuckle. I've been called Luca. You know, all sorts of stuff.
Shanji leans over and whispers to Everett, "Well, the Admiral is the name of one of my plushies, so that just won't do."
I feel like I'm gonna confuse Steelbolt and Steel Fist, but
Yeah, they're similar.
I feel like they'd get along.
You do kind of get that energy. Yeah, any other questions? Anyone got anything? You see Cynthia raise her hand. She says, "Do you have nightly training?" No. No, I don't. And Cynthia looks a little bit sad. Anything else? Anybody? Dagar raises his hand. He says, "What happened to your fingers?" And she looks down. She says, "Lost them, got some new ones." He goes, "All right." Colrell says, "Luca's an old friend of mine. She was an admiral in the Hammerhead Alliance." She looks at you. She goes, "You're familiar with her work?"
Oh, yes.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, I was an admiral for quite a while, but gets a little boring fighting pirates all the time, so here I am. Coral set me up, and we're good to go." Coral says, "And I think you'll like her very much." So, Elitha, I believe you had some new business. And Elitha says, "Yes, I did. There is another thing. Now that there are multiple classes, we have devised a method to have each class have somewhat of a homeroom teacher of the three of us. There will only ever be 3 classes at a time here at the Bright Futures Initiative, usually spaced out with a gap year between each, but we thought this year to, be a real fresh start, we jumped the gun on that a bit. So your 2 classes will be the only classes here for a few years, but you will all see another third class before you graduate, which will be interesting. And since Miss Steelbolt is the newest teacher here, she will not be getting a homeroom quite yet, but Corel and I will. Corel says, and I am the homeroom teacher for the second year, so, you'll be seeing quite a bit of me this year.
What do we do in homeroom? Well,
There's not really a homeroom section, it's just I will be responsible for you. Whenever
You're like our bud.
Right, whenever your group, your cohort goes on a field trip, I will be there. Whenever you have a need, I'm the one that you should come to. I will be your go-to in any academic situation.
Man, why didn't we get Cora?
You did! You are the second years!
Second years.
Oh, second years.
Yes.
I was thinking second year.
No, you were the second years. So Corel is
Okay.
your homeroom teacher.
Oh, okay. I thought my mistake.
And Alphys and I will be the homeroom teacher for the first years. So the same goes for you. If you need anything, come to me, and that will be that. And Lucas says, and while I don't have a homeroom, I don't actually know any of you. I'm a little bit behind. You second years, I've heard a little bit about what you've gotten up to, so I've got kind of a sense for your abilities. But I haven't seen them firsthand, and I know nothing about you first years. So I devised a little project, a little assessment we're gonna start the year off with. It's gonna be head-to-head training. First years versus second years. But since the second years have been here longer and I know a little bit of what they're capable of, first years are gonna get a bit of a handicap. The assessment's gonna be as follows. You, second years, are gonna be given a large gem pedestal, generously donated by that health elven guy from the Exit Sortilegium. You will then have 10 minutes to set up that past pedestal anywhere inside the training field. The training field is being set up by Agile Mask and Kerfley to be arranged by like a small city block with buildings that you can go inside. All one story, but it's a city block. You set it up, prepare defenses. After 10 minutes of setup, the first years, excluding Elias, both for fairness, because you only have 5 people, sending 6 after you wouldn't be quite fair either, and also skill level. No offense, but I hear you're not much of a fighter. And Elias says, no offense taken. They're gonna enter the field and try to smash the statue. If the statue is smashed or all the second years are unable to continue fighting, the first years win. If the second years can protect the statue and render the first years unable to fight, they win. This is purely a skill assessment so that I know what you're capable of. You're not going to be graded higher if you win or lose. You will be graded for participation for this assessment alone, but the winner does get a reward because I want you to care about this. I will be treating you to a 5-course Carthian meal in town on my dime. So, winner gets a meal they're never going to forget, and losers don't get that, but it won't affect your grade. Is that clear? Do we have any questions on the assessment?
How big did you say that pedestal was?
It's medium. It's medium-sized.
Oh, okay.
We should avoid using like lethal force, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have healers at the ready, so you know.
What'd you say our prep time was again?
You're gonna have 10 minutes to enter the field to prep. But this assessment isn't going to happen until Monday, a week from today, all right? We're not gonna have tactics classes this week. You're gonna have your individual tactics times to start planning strategy, getting ready, talking it through with each other. This is more for you first years than anyone. I think the second years kind of know how to fight with each other at this point, or at least they should. But first years get to know each other, get to know each other's skill sets, start making plans. Second years, start scouring the field, looking for places, defensible locations, all that sort of stuff. Are we clear? All right.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I've never taught before, but I've captained a ship, and I feel like it can't be that much different. So we'll learn together. And Elephant looks very worried, but Colrell looks pretty excited. Thinks it's kind of funny.
Everett says, making children fight is a great start.
Well, I mean, you're at hero school, bud. What do you expect? You're just gonna read books all day? You got a tactics class.
To be fair, I feel like most of us qualify as young adults, not kids anymore.
There's that. I mean, there's that too.
I'm technically a full-on adult at this point.
Oh,
Also, if we do it right, we might not have to fight.
that's fair too.
Ooh. You hear Dagar snicker at that. He's like, yeah, good luck. We're gonna bring bring the fight to you.
I mean, let's see. We have a 10-minute time to set up. No, you know, Septon's not gonna say anything.
Okay.
I might say something, but
Okay.
Septon's not gonna say shit.
Don't underestimate us, second years. Just because we haven't been here yet doesn't mean we're not capable. I mean, we got into the program.
No, nothing about you guys. Nothing about you guys, honestly. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. Just, you know, if there's a way to avoid a fight, might as well take it.
Luke, your tactics teacher, Lucas says, yeah, you could. All right, well, that is all from me. I got some business to take care of, but looking forward to having class. Looking forward to the assessment next week. Looking forward to having classes with you. This will be interesting at the very least. All right, peace. And she just strides on out, and Oliver goes, what? All right, well, that is all for our joint session. There's some more information to learn, but it is going to be class-by-class basis. So, first years, if you'll follow me outside, we will be joining Captain Sheena, the captain of the guard, and heading into town to inquire about employment. If you're interested, you don't have to, but if you would like to get a job, we have plenty of places in town for that. And second years, you stay here with Colrell, and hear about some of the second year specific scholastic activities you'll be participating in. All right, well, good to see you, and I will see you tomorrow for class. Second years, first years, this way. And she heads out, leaving just you guys and Colrell in the room. Colrell just sits on the desk and says, do we want to do it here, or do we want to head up to the much more comfortable lounge upstairs to finish out class? What are you feeling?
The lounge.
All right,
Lounge, yes.
let's do it.
What?
Tether, you with us?
Here? Yeah.
All right, then come on up to the lounge. Let's go. All right, you head on upstairs to the lounge, and they lounge out on the couch, and you all get your spots as well. They say, all right. So, two things to talk about. Two things that are unique to your class, or I should say second years and beyond. First thing is quests. So, as you well know, heroes and adventurers go on quests. That's all part of the thing. Last year, quests were handled a bit strangely, as you well know why. But this year, we have set up a quest board available to second years and above. So, it is not open yet, but 3 quests have been posted. So if you would like to peruse those, you are free to do so at your leisure. I can actually read them to you if you want. I have them right here. The quest board isn't installed yet. It will be by the beginning of next week, but I have them. Those are quests. You will get school credit for going on quests, and when you do go on quests, your classes, of course, will not... You will not be penalized for missing class for going on quests. But quests are independent study activities. We do not join you on quests. You go alone. That being said, you have a sending stone, which connects you back to the campus, and if you need help or in an incredibly dangerous situation, you can call for help, and we will come help you, obviously. That's quests, which are different than field trips. We do have a field trip this semester. Near the end of the semester, we're headed over to the city of Garrick Bastion, and I will be accompanying you on field trips. So I come on field trips. Quests are independent. So those are quests. You take them, not only do you get school credit, but you also get rewards. Whatever the quest giver set up as reward, you will receive. That could be money, that can be items, that can be favors, who knows. And out of game, we're on a milestone leveling system, so completing a quest could very well be a milestone. There is also an overarching quest that we will be giving to you each year. Every year from now on, second year and above, each class will get an overarching quest that will count for a huge portion of your overall grade in the year. If you do not complete this quest, you might have to repeat the year. But they're very open-ended quests. This year's quest is, drumroll, could I get a drumroll, Septon? To find a relic.
Like a really old magic item?
Yes, the most powerful class of magic item in this world are considered relics.
We're going back to the archives, gang.
Well, you don't have to necessarily.
We're gonna go grab a cursed... Didn't we already have a cursed relic?
You have a cursed item. Relics,
Okay.
relics are the equivalent of artifacts in like the DMG. So relics are the most powerful magic items that exist in the world. Think Vestiges of Divergence. Think the Adventure Zone things that they get in the first arc or whatever. Like these are the most powerful items around. For an item to be considered a relic, it either must be very, very, very old or very, very, very powerful. Like relics aren't necessarily ancient. New relics do get made. Relic is a power class rather than like an age thing. We have compiled 3 different leads to find relics for you. But you could ignore all of them and go find a relic on your own, if you would so like. Tether, I see your hand.
If we get one, do we keep it, or
Yes,
do we
it's
have to give it to the
No, it's for you. Listen, any group, the reasoning here is any group of adventure worth their salt has a relic or 2. Oh, who'd we lose?
We lost
Peter.
Peter.
Okay, well, goodbye, overlay.
Is this a 1 relic per person? Or
No,
per
1
class?
relic total.
Okay.
1 relic. You all need to find 1 relic, not before the end of the semester, but before the end of the school year. You have plenty of time. There's no rush on this assignment, but if you don't, or if it, perhaps you try to find a relic and you get very close and you don't get one, we'll consider it. It's an assignment. Just the goal, find a relic. We have 3 leads for you if you'd like to hear them.
Yeah.
All right.
Hit us with them.
There are 3. The first, we have titled a treasure hunt. I wrote these myself, by the way, so do pardon the prose. A merchant by the name of Elphaz Denmore in the city of Camirna has been quite vocal recently about a treasure map that has recently come into his possession. According to his claims, the treasure map will leave brave explorers to the resting place of a great wealth, the bounty of a forgotten king. This hoard evidently contains a supremely powerful magic item, almost certainly a relic. Denmore isn't exactly being quiet about his find, and it could be a wild goose chase, but the initiative will put up the money for the map if you want to buy it and pursue this lead. The next one is the Mouth of the World. Dragrimak, the Mouth of the World, is a relic that once belonged to the ancient storm giants. The giants say that at the end of time, this shield will swallow the world. The item has been lost for centuries, its last wielder winning the Moon Elves' Waning Moon Tournament in Skembra, then disappearing into the wilderness. Recently, however, a large whirlpool in the northern Vastran Ocean has been reported by the sailors of Prostonville, and one particularly drunk captain even claims he saw the shield in the center of it. And finally, I've titled this one The Wrong Hands. A report has come in from First Talon Malakath, stationed at Fort Hethys. I believe you met her when you were headed on your way to the tactics midterm last year. It seems that there's an issue involving a goblinoid warband being led by a rather dangerous figure wielding an artifact of some power. Normally, the Platinum Claw would take care of this, mobilize against this threat, but at the moment, apparently, they have instructions from the capital that is preventing them from using their full force. She remembers how helpful the initiative was with the fort's patron problem and would love to finance a foray against this Rataburk warband. This certainly would be a dangerous lead to follow, but you would get payment in addition to the potential relic. Not only that, but the Silver Citadel lives in the Cluster Cap Mountains, very near to the location of this quest, and they've been wanting to meet you for some time. And those are the 3 relic leads we have. None of them are certain, but they all could potentially lead you to a relic. If you would prefer to ignore all of them completely and just find your own relic by heading to the Kymian Archives, for example, or just reading about it, looking for leads. If you already have leads, then who knows? It's your call. But those are the 3 leads that we have created for you. And we also have 3 quests that are going to be posted on the quest board if you're interested in hearing those as well. In fact, here, and they put 3 papers on the ground, on the table between you and them, and there's looks to be 3 quests. John, do you recognize one of these papers? Because you delivered it. Any questions?
That's all great. Thank you, Colreal.
Right. About this, quests, clubs, electives, anything. I'm your homeroom teacher, so I am the go-to person for this sort of thing.
When you say find a relic, it's got to be like in our possession. We
Yes.
can't just be like, oh, we tracked it down. We know it's here.
Well, that's part of it. I mean, if that's all you can manage to do, then you won't fail the assignment, but ideally we'd like you to get one. For you to keep, obviously, as an adventuring group. I mean, this increases your ability as well. The difference between a group of adventurers and a band of heroes oftentimes comes down to both their attitudes and their equipment. So, the attitude thing, we can only teach you what we know. The equipment thing, we can send you in the right direction.
Will travel time be accounted for in terms of class credit for the classes we miss?
If you are on a quest, on a field trip, or any of these things, your time away will count as class credit. You will not be penalized. If you simply disappear without telling us, you're missing class. But if we know where you're going, if we know you're headed out on a quest or something, that is schoolwork as well. You will not be penalized for missing any classes for that sort of thing. That being said, field trips do have sort of set times, so do try to be back for those. But if you can't, I understand. It's a big world. It's a big, crazy world. Who knows what's going to happen out there? But do try to be back for major events. But
Is the school willing to cover us for any quest-related mishaps, be it injuries or crimes committed?
well, don't get caught. Number one.
Of course.
And depending on the situation, we have funding. We aren't just throwing you out into the world to drown on your own, but ideally, as independently as you can do these things, the better. Because one day you're going to graduate and you won't have the safety net anymore. So, but we're here to fund you. I mean, for example, we'll buy that treasure map, and it is not cheap. We'll obviously set you up with supplies for the trips that you need to make for any of these quests. If there's any diplomacy that needs to be done to get you somewhere to follow one of your goals, then we'll help out with that. And as always, if you need help in a desperate situation, we have means of getting to you if we need to. Yeah, I mean, we have an Exordilegium member on our side. He can get anywhere, instantly. Right. Well, technically class is supposed to last another few hours, but we've kind of covered everything, so unless you have any questions, I think I'm gonna go. But feel free to peruse the quests here and talk amongst yourselves and do whatever you want to do, I guess.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Colrail.
Right. Oh, and survival and economics, the electives will be happening today as well, so you can go to those if you want. They're in the tower. The rooms are marked.
All right.
All right. And we're all clear on everything then? Oh, and again,
Crystal.
with the exception of the relic quest, no quests are mandatory. If you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it, obviously. We're not, turning you into, I guess, vessels. That's not the goal of the institution like it was the goal of that thing last year. So if you're uncomfortable with something, then don't do it. You don't have to go on a single quest if you don't want to, but I recommend it. You should,
Oh.
That's kind of the point.
Are we supposed to go on the quest as like a class?
Yes.
Or if,
yes,
like-
you go together.
Okay, there's not like a situation where it's like, all right, like
Agree upon.
Una and Tether, go get that one. Me, Shandi, and Everett, we're gonna get this other one.
Right, I wouldn't recommend that.
Probably shouldn't split the party.
Right.
So when we did that one time, me and Una did really well.
Listen,
Time.
I think when you
During
guys
the
went to
siege-
Dragons, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You did really well. That was good.
We got the ghillie suits.
That's
Meanwhile,
true.
the boys got the shit kicked out of them in the basement. So.
Yeah. It's like, was it the best? I don't know.
You could split your group if you wanted to do that. Colrell says, and then I take a step back from that character and say, don't fucking do that. If half of you go on a quest and half of you go to school, we can't run a session.
You just do a couple without half of us and a couple without
I mean,
the others.
yeah, I guess it would just be
I
like
understand.
less people would come to the session, but then I'd have to make a new overlay and that'd be a fucking nightmare, so. Just
Just reuse the overlay from the Beach Boys.
I don't have that anymore. I wouldn't be hard to make, but technically you could, but these quests are balanced for all of you to go on them, so. All right, well, bye then. And Colrell
Bye.
stands up and leaves, leaving three papers in front of you. You have access to this information as well if you go to the journal tab. Under the blue folder, this is Bright Futures Initiative. There should be 2 journal entries. One says School Systems, one says Quest Board.
Wow.
Quest Board's up there. So you've got your overarching quest. Do you not see it?
I just have school systems.
Yeah,
That's because I didn't let you have Quest Board yet. All right, look again.
Yeah.
You've got your overarching
There it
quest
is.
Wowee.
and the relics, and then you have the
Whoa.
currently obtainable quests. And there's 3 of them. I
Nice.
can read them if you want. In fact, I will. So the audience can hear them. There's 3. The first one is called Prism Procurement. The client is Averth Railsinian. The duration is brief, the difficulty is simple, and the urgency is no rush. And he has drawn a little smiley face there. Description. Hello, my friends. In our time away, my tower was visited by a certain dastardly duo and thoroughly ransacked. Lucky for me, most of my important belongings I keep on me, but they did shatter the prism in my favorite staff. I need to acquire a new one so that I may again use the staff to its full capacity. I could do it myself, but it seems like a good, simple task for this very quest system. I need you to venture down the jagged past in the Gedhurst Mountains and locate a large rainbow prism. It's not the safest trek you can make, but I have utter faith in your abilities. Reward is 2,500 gold and a magic item, parentheses. You'll like it, I promise. The second one is Solosian Diplomacy. The client is Lord Althear Resk. The duration is lengthy, the difficulty is moderate, and the urgency is this term. The description is, the nobleman Althear Resk requests aid in a matter of diplomacy. He is currently in talks with the Solosian He is currently in talks with the Countess Clarissa du Chamanteau, who you guys know, in a bid to marry his son to her niece. He is unable to personally visit the Evdetoire Valley and is worried that his tiefling appearance would cause a stir if he did. Some Solosian habits die hard. He's requesting the students of the Bright Futures Initiative go in his stead and negotiate this marriage as his spokesperson. The reward is 20,000 gold.
Excuse me.
lot
That
of
sounds
money.
easy. We should do that.
It's a lot of money.
Sean D, have you ever met his son?
You haven't.
No,
Like,
I
is
have
this
not.
gonna be an easy sell, or is he kind of terrible and it's gonna be a hard sell?
Well, I've no perception of the man myself, but
Uh,
oh, that honestly makes it a bit harder for us, as we can't really sell him at all, as we've never met him.
We could always do something
We
where
could
we
request-
dress one of us up as him and then really
No.
sell it and then switch him out.
I don't think.
I don't
We'll
think...
talk about it if we take it.
And the last quest is Bakery Bandits. The client is Bertram Habley, the mayor of Odale. The duration is medium, the difficulty is moderate, and the urgency is ASAP. Description: a gang of thieves on Magitech horses are terrorizing my town and stealing baked goods left and right. The Claw are less than useless these days, and with the bake-off coming up at the end of Celestia's, our 2 prized bakers are out of their minds with worry. Please come deal with these ruffians. I've heard what you did for Kelshar, and I dare say this will be quite a bit easier, but still right up your alley. The reward is 2,000 gold and a selection of pastries that will absolutely change your life.
I heard about this one. People were talking about it over the summer.
I think that's also a good idea because I like.
There's a rub.
critters.
There's a rub. From what I've heard around the bar, apparently the locals are actually making it harder for adventuring groups to like show up and solve the problem. It's a
How?
little unclear what's going on, but there's something else to this story.
Then we should raise the price.
We can send him a
Especially
message and
if
say
this
we'll
is a
come
rush
for-
job too. We just started our semester. If we take time out of our semester to,
Do you think they offer per diem?
You guys, Una and Shandi would recognize the name Odale. It's a pretty small town up in the Western Valley. It's like half the size of Helvast.
oh wow.
It's not big. Their whole thing is they have 2 pretty famous bakeries, and that's kind of it.
Are they feuding bakers?
Yeah.
They're like in friendly competition with each other. It's like the movie Little Italy. For all of my Little Italy fans out there.
Niche content. Niche content.
Could be fun. I would ask to raise the price.
That's true, but it's the only one that's marked as urgent, so...
Speaking of fun, did that old dwarven lady say the prize for like the class on class thing was going to be a trip into town? Because that does not sound fun.
But she
Well-
buys us good food.
She's a young halfling woman as well, just so you know.
Oh, I got her mixed up with that one elective teacher.
She also said like a really good meal, so I'm almost picturing like she probably has access to like a private room in a place. I've heard of shishi places like that.
I don't know. I'm not super worried about this competition. We have to
Yeah, me
protect we're defense, right?
Yeah.
We protect
we're
a
on
medium-sized.
Defense.
We protect a medium-sized object from the other team. For like how long?
There's no time limit until you knock them
Oh.
all out,
Until yeah.
Oh, until we knock them out. Well,
or
that does make
or
it trickier.
or prevent them from fighting. You could get them to quit.
I mean, I could just tiny hut on it, and 8 hours they gotta kill.
Or we could just teleport it to another place. Or we could... I could, like, do illusionary terrain and change the entire battlefield and make, like, hundreds of them.
There's like a number of ways we could figure this out.
I could work on my mind control thing.
Ooh.
I could hit him with a sword.
That
I think
too.
you could do something better than that.
Now, hold on a
Is
second.
that something you do, Everett?
Yeah, when did you get a sword?
Shandi, I've been meaning to talk to you about where you get your swords from. I think I want one.
Oh, well,
Talk
good,
to Evelyn.
good news for you. We're starting Sword Club.
Nice. Cool.
But we've
Well,
already got one other member.
How upset about this.
well, if there's a place where you recommend me to go and pick one up, I think I'm gonna do that.
Oh, Blake,
Yes.
is there like a notice board somewhere?
There will be. The quest board is going to get posted. Like, it's gonna
Okay.
be a physical thing. It's just not up yet.
Okay.
Well, yes, you should. If you want a quality piece of steel, you should go to Steelfist Evelyn. I'm actually apprenticing there right now, so I'm sure I can get you hooked up. Anyways, back to the challenge. On top of all your wonderful suggestions, I do hear that it's It's a defensive-sided map, after all.
I've heard that. I've heard it's a defensive sided map.
Historically, this is where it starts to turn around.
Do we have to like defend for half and then we switch teams
No!
and we're on offense?
Obviously not.
What a wonderful
When is that?
fun game.
When is that?
1 week from today.
Got it. Okay. We've got some time to.
You have plenty of
We can
time.
put some tactics together.
And all of your tactics classes are just you practicing for that.
Cool.
You're not actually starting tactics class proper until after the assessment.
Do we do like a dress rehearsal? Like, do we go up against each other in those
Where we
tactics
wear
classes?
dresses?
Or
You could. Whatever you want to do. It's unsupervised. It's unsupervised tactics class time. For you to do whatever the fuck you want and practice. It's more for the first years, honestly, because they've never fought together before, so they need to get to know each other and like figure out strategy.
feel kind of bad just casting Tiny Hut and sitting there for 8 hours.
Don't feel bad.
I almost
It's real
didn't say
well.
it.
Also,
'cause I
we
didn't
could
want
just
Blake
give
to
it
be like,
them
"Ah,
and not
shit."
do anything.
Wait. No, keep talking. Sorry. I'll back in a second.
Gonna need to have a pocket tether out there.
You gotta stop.
Ever.
Except in cast Tiny Hut, and when the 8 hours end, like, just a cloud of pipeweed smoke bursts.
Oh yeah, we could just tiny hut and just hang out in there.
Captain just puts up the Tiny Hut and is like, they'll give up in 8 hours.
Yeah, they could like dispel it or counter it, but like honestly, fine.
I guess you could dispel it.
Easily could dispel it. That's like
Yeah.
Wait.
that's how you get rid of magic.
But what would you use to dispel it?
It's dispel magic is the name of the spell.
That is the one, yeah.
I guess that would work.
What do you mean? I guess that would work.
Because
It dispels magic.
Because it says in it, like, spells and other magical effects can extend through the dome.
Right, you can't cast Firebolt through the dome, but you can dispel the dome. You're not
then you
extending
can
through
cast
the
Fireball.
dome. Yeah, then you cast Fireball.
Like,
I guess.
if it's a week away,
Anti-magic sphere. Yeah.
could I use cogs and wheels as my downtime to look into what the first years are planning throughout the week?
I'd let you make a roll for that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's yes. I would allow that.
Whenever we get to that.
Right.
Cool.
What's cogs and wheels?
So everybody got a downtime ability, and that's
Oh.
Una's.
Oh.
It's meant to be for like businesses and things, but
Yeah, I say you could absolutely use it like that. I mean, it requires you to like just hang around and watch them a lot, but
that's fine.
yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, so you've got your quests here. You've got potential relic stuff. You also know like relics are, if there's ever heads or tails of a relic being found anywhere, like people hear about it. So you could just keep your ear to the ground in certain places or go research some stuff if you want to. Like, there's no shortage of relics. Those are just the 3 that they have curated for you specifically.
Is that kid's sword a relic?
Yes.
We're a
That is,
mug of freshman.
Yes, it is. It is a relic.
Alright, Coral, I
No.
found a relic.
No.
I found. You said
They're not gonna accept that.
find a relic.
I'm just telling you now, they're not gonna accept that.
My DM is changing the rules.
I'm
after
not!
signing up the quest.
At least
You guys are worse than my fucking 6-year-olds, dude. No, that's not what you said. That's not what you said.
Can we roll back this tape? Hello? Can we...
I'm not rewriting the prop.
What's next?
Next is the survival elective. Who doesn't want to go to survival class? Keep in mind, Tether, you have to go to two elective classes. You are required to attend 2. Well, they only meet once a week, so yes.
And there's 3, and you have to go to 2.
No, there's like 6.
There's like 6 of them. I know you didn't pay attention as a character, but you do not pay attention as a player also.
I played attention. Wait. There's survival. There's customs. There's the crafts one. Oh yeah, there is more than 3.
So if you go to that Bright Futures Initiative thing again, go to school systems and click on classes, and it'll be a list of all of them and who they're taught by.
Yeah. Spellcraft. Yeah.
So today is survival and economics. Survival's first, economics is second. So, who wants to go to survival class?
Captain's gonna go.
All right, you three go to survival class. Okay, and Jonathan and Tether aren't going.
Well,
Tether. Oh, Tether is going?
No, Tether was going, wanted to talk to Elitha, but.
Oh yeah, you can. We have time before class. It's fine. You can find her.
Well, she'll go when they do class.
Okay, that's fine. You will have academics today, so.
Okay, cool. Oh, cool. Never mind then.
Yeah. All right. So survival is Una, Septon, and Everett. Okay. As you go, you see all of the underclassmen, with the exception of Elias, are here as well.
Solid.
Yep, they seem invested in this. Let me just write down who is. And you can change this for the next few weeks. Either way, Agile Mask says, "Hi, I'm Agile Mask. You know that already. This is survival. So I'm going to teach you my patented method of surviving. It's not patented.
Is Windrunner there?
Yeah, Windrunner's there. When Windrunner sees you, he comes up and does give you a big lick on the face.
Fuck yeah.
You also notice that, actually, when you arrive, you see that Runia is petting Windrunner. Runia seems to get along with Windrunner as well. And then he licks your face, and she goes, "Oh, he's a good dog."
He let me ride him once.
Oh, I wish I was small enough to ride him.
It's overrated.
I feel like
Being
it's
small.
Oh,
Being small is
okay,
Being small is overrated.
right.
Sorry.
No.
If you get a chance to ride a bigger sized dog, absolutely. Take
Okay,
it.
yeah, I will. I used to ride drakes
What?
in the circus. They
That's
put
cool.
they put me on a drake's back, and I had to juggle. They weren't nice. Those guys.
Oh.
Drakes are pretty mean.
Like they weren't well trained.
They were well trained, but if you put your hand too close to their mouth, they would bite you. So,
Oof,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
But you wouldn't do that, would you, bud? And Winter just licks at her. And Agile Mask, looks over seeing this happen, but then whistles, and Windrunner runs back to his side. So, we're teaching survival here. You can ask the second years about how that works. They've done it a few times. There's a few roles that I recommend that you take on when you are out in the world, when you're traveling. It would be good to decide who among you would take on those roles. Caravaneer, somebody who's good at talking to people. Hunter, hunts. Scout, scouts. Guide, chooses the route, keeps track of the map, all that. And the lookout keeps track of threats and whatnot. There's 5 of you here. There's a 6th one, so it doesn't really matter. Just decide who wants to do what, and that will help. This class is probably going to be pretty hands-on, because it's hard not to be. There's only so much theory I can teach you. So we're probably going to be doing forays into the woods and some practicals, because one of the other electives, the gnome, he can make fake environments out of Magitech, using Magitech devices that we could then try to survive in, go camping in the Shadowfell sort of deal. Obviously still here though, so it's not like I'm gonna actually take you to the Shadowfell. It would be kind of irresponsible for me to bring you to a different plane of existence as a class. But
We all kind of giggle.
But for day one, why don't we let experience talk? We went on a quest through the Underdark, which was a cool and good idea last year, and you guys learned firsthand how to do this sort of survival system, right, second years?
Yeah.
Yes.
What roles did you have? Do you remember?
I think I was the Caravaneer.
That sounds right.
As a chat, I'm a chatterbox. Talk to people. That's some interesting folk along
Oh, but
there.
you weren't here yet, Everett, so you're new to this as well.
Yeah, but I'm a natural scout, so.
Okay.
I
We
think
met a.
Sean D was, or Sean D and I would It was either lookout or scout.
You
between the
swapped
two
back
of
and
us.
forth. Tether was definitely the
Okay.
guide.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tether planned the route, and it worked pretty well, especially before the leg before the Underdark was pretty smooth, thanks to the route she planned. We didn't go through the Crystal Burn, which is probably a good idea. You can see that Cynthia has like 4 journals, and she's taking furious notes. Daygard isn't really paying attention. Renia is trying to talk, just looking straight at Windrunner and like making faces, lost in her own world. Karak is paying attention, but he is as expressionless as he always is. So, no real clue there. And Maeve she's not taking like a ton of notes, but she's definitely paying attention and engaging with the class. The rest of the class, it kind of goes by. It's a boring one, the first one, because he's just trying to teach all the basics that he's already taught you guys, and you already know about it. And he says that pretty soon you guys are going to start doing some like forays into the woods, and that's what you guys are going to be doing Monday mornings. But class ends, and your next class is academics that all of you have to go to.
Hell yeah.
Una stands a little taller.
You make your way to the academics classroom, and Elitha is there, and she's just like shuffling papers. And as you all come in, she's like, "Welcome! I'm very excited to dive into this year of academics with you. All right, Una's here, Septon's here, Everett's here, Sean D's here, Tether's here. Turn is purposefully absent. All right, then we are met."
Everett sits in the back and turns his ring off.
Okay. I mean, you just go ghost mode. She doesn't care. She knows you're a ghost.
The other class isn't with us.
No, this is just you guys.
Okay.
This is your core academics class.
Oh, right.
All right, so it's syllabus day. We're not going to do a lot of learning today, but I should go over sort of what we're learning. We're going to start, on the history side of things, we are going to start with the founding of the Zymor Empire back in the War of Zymor and the beheading of one of the heads of the Dragon Queen. Yes, so that is where we'll be beginning. It's a very explosive place to start. In fact, we're going to start a little bit before the existence of Zymor, talk about sort of the geopolitical landscape of not only the continent, but also of the general, well, what we then knew as the world, but we now know is only part of the world, of Salos and the lands the gods forgot, Karth, although to be honest, most of those don't really factor into the War of Zymor besides Salos. So we'll be talking about Renarcia, Salos, geopolitical landscape, the economic landscape as well. That's very important. I've actually set up some time with Mr. Lee to have some cross-class interests for any of you taking economics. There will be some things you can learn in both classes. Anyway, we're going to start there, and we're going to slowly make our way through the Empire's history, discussing some granular details. The reigns of different emperors will be a good way to break that up. So once we finish an emperor's reign, we'll probably have a test, so on and so forth. Depending on what we get through, we might spend more than the first turn doing Zymorian history. It is not only important, but also has become somewhat mandatory due to our renewed effort, and by a decree of the Emperor, considering what he found out about what happened last year, and he's really gunning for some Zymorian education. But don't worry, I'm not from here, technically. I'm not going to just teach you pro-Empire nonsense. I'm not going to propagandize you. We're going to be learning the facts in this class. So, there's that. I'm going to be throwing some other academic topics in as well that aren't as quite as historically focused. I think it's good to get some basic arithmetic, especially if you intend to use magic. It's always good to know some arithmetic and geometry, equation building, all sorts of things. History is my area of expertise, but I've graduated from quite a few magical colleges, so I know a little bit in that regard as well. But if there are topics that you want to learn about as well, we will have plenty of time to do that this year too. I want to hear what you want to learn about. I don't think we'll be taking a trip to the archives this year, which is probably for the best, considering how our last one went. But I might be heading there on school breaks if anyone wants to join. I would be more than happy to chaperone you there. It is a beautiful resource, and I like to use it as much as I can. We might also be doing a bit of a joint workshop with the illustrious Forsyth Academy in the capital, but that won't be until the second term. So do look forward to that. I believe we can give you quite a bit of good education here, but Forsyth, I mean, it's not only the greatest university in the Empire, but I would wager the greatest university ever made. So do look forward to that. Right. Well, yes. I would like to say that she takes a moment. She takes off her glasses and cleans them and puts them back on. Shuffles some papers. This is uncomfortable to say, but given the way that we left last year, I would like to again apologize for my not complicit. I wouldn't say I was complicit, but I would say that I was naive and unaware to the problems that you were facing, particularly with our former tactics teacher, and I would like to apologize and say that I will be doing better going forward. My priority has always been you, has always been the students, but I got a little bit lost, I think, last year in the excitement of finally being a teacher at an illustrious institution, and I won't let that blind me this year. So, though I may not be your homeroom teacher, if you need something, do not hesitate to come to me. I will help as best as I can. Yes, well, I don't have much more to say. We can dive into the content if you'd like today, but if anyone has anything, I guess now would be a good time if anyone has any topics that they're interested in learning this year. The sooner you tell me, the quicker I can implement them. Accepted.
All right, you know me. I struggle when we get into the nitty gritty, the Northern Mercantile Fleet's shipping and such.
Yes, that was a difficult unit for
Right.
you, as
Right.
it was for everyone except Chandi.
I don't suppose if
Chandi gave us copies of his report.
Oh, I know, and she pulls her out, and it's like dog-eared and bookmarked all over the place.
I was just gonna suggest if it was possible, maybe every time we go through like a period of time, like maybe it's War of Salos or something, we then like pause and we do like, oh, what like was the art of this time? Because I promise you, I'll like pay attention more when we're doing that part.
Right. Well, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more than amenable to that. I think that would be a great idea. In fact, I can try to block it into the day-to-day. Like, instead of doing, we do the history, then we do the art. Like, let's just put it together, I feel.
Yeah, no, I'm into it.
All right. Yes, I am more than happy to do that. And I'm not an art historian myself, but I like the finer things in life. And it's always been a facet of history. I mean, you need to know what the people are thinking, not just the political leaders in any period of time, and I feel often like the cultural creations of those people are things to look at for that. So yes, I think you're 100% right. I'll put much more of that into the classes this year. In fact, I do have that device we used for the midterm last year as well. If you would have any interest in participating in some of these historical battles, illusorily, of course, it's not real. That is something we could do. You seemed to enjoy the midterm last year, fighting those historical figures. So we could crank it up one step further and have you actually participate in some historical battles. Obviously not fully accurately. We don't know the exacts of what all of those battles were, but with the information we have.
Fantasy VR, let's go.
Yeah, you've got your VR missions that you could do if you wanted to.
Let's go.
The gang commits a war crime.
Meet me in VR chat.
All right.
Playing VR chat with Elitha. couldn't get weird in any way.
Definitely
What's
not.
Elitha's main in Valorant?
Sage.
I have a quick question.
Mhm.
How much would Shandi know about the history of the Zymorian Empire, given his upbringing?
Quite a bit. I mean, you would know quite a bit about the history of the Zymorian Empire. I feel like you didn't go. A lot of your education, particularly recently under your tutor, is about modern Zymorian politics. Rather than, but you know the cursory stuff. You know why it was founded. You know who founded it. You know the way the government works, the way the tax structure works, like the regions and some of their history. But you're guessing that Elitha knows a lot more than you, though you do know quite a bit. And
Shandi's just like vibrating in anticipation to like not only relive the hits, like his favorite moments, but to like get a new perspective.
Right. And Una, like you know about it too. Like you grew up here, you grew up in the Empire. You know the holidays and you know some things, but it's definitely not like something you've probably studied comprehensively. That being said, public school in the Empire is very much pro-Empire, like. Like, yeah, no, us and Salos was a bunch of jerks who didn't like us just because we named ourselves after famous assassins that killed their bloodlines. Like, how rude of them. But, you know, as you grow up, you can see some of the propaganda. So it'll be interesting to learn more of an outsider's perspective rather than what you were taught in public school. Yes, but if there's any other topics, time periods, anything that you right now know you want to look into, then please let me know. But I mean, if you think of something later, obviously we can work it into the stuff. But we will be beginning with the years leading up to the War of Zymor. And then she begins to launch into a bit of a lecture. She starts talking to you about the political landscape, and it's an academics class, as you remember. A few hours go by, and she says, and would you look at the time? Well, we will pick up from there tomorrow. I'm looking forward to the rest of the semester. But if economics class will be starting in about 20 minutes, so do go participate if you're interested. Class is dismissed.
The whole time.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, please.
I was just gonna say the whole time Septon is contemplating the fact that he would normally be falling asleep, but physically can't.
Everett walks through the wall to get out of the class instead of using the door.
All right.
And like closes up his notebook that he's been doodling in the whole time.
Okay.
Tether stays.
Oh, Tether, you have a question? Is it for the class, or did you just want to chat?
Oh, Tether stayed after, so I think Tether is
Yeah.
maybe the only
Okay,
one.
so Una and Shandi, I
Yeah.
assume, leave, yeah.
Shandi
Alright.
leaves.
You don't have to raise your hand if it's just us, Tether.
I would like to schedule a weekly one-on-one time with you to continue my project from last semester.
I would like that as well. One works for you.
Any time that's not in the class schedule.
Alright. Are evenings alright?
Yes.
Okay, then, why don't we say Tuesday evenings? Does that work for you?
That's tomorrow.
Yes.
Cool.
We could do it today if you prefer. I mean,
No. I was just in my mind.
no, I think we made some good progress at the end of last term, and I'm excited to. I actually looked into some things over the summer that I'm excited to talk to you about.
Cool. Thank you. I am going to economics class now. Goodbye.
You're going to All right. Well, enjoy.
She's a landowner.
She is. All right. Who's going to Oh no. Next is politics class. You make it back up to Colrell. And Colrell continues their politics from last year, though they make it clear that this year they are going to be talking a lot more about the current political situation of the Empire of Zymor, as dictated by the Emperor. It seems that in order to continue functioning as a school, they've had to take on some mandatory teaching, mandatory topics that they teach. Coral doesn't seem that interested in this topic, but is very knowledgeable about it, and starts talking to you about stuff that, Shandi, you probably heard about at your Resk dinners this summer, about how normally the House of Lords, the Parliament of Zymor, there's no, like, if you are a noble, you can be part of the Parliament. That's just how it works. In past regimes, this hasn't mattered a whole lot because the Emperor's word goes. So if the Parliament raises a potential law and the Emperor says no, it just doesn't happen. This current Emperor doesn't give a shit about governing the country usually. He is more preoccupied with being an excellent sortilegium member. So he doesn't pay a ton of attention to what happens in Parliament, and they are a lot more active in setting the laws and rules of the country. And as such, 4 distinct political parties have actually emerged. Not for the first time ever, but 4 new political parties have emerged under this particular regime. There are the technocrats who only care about one thing, and that is the Magitech progress. That's it. All decisions they make have to do with progressing the science of Magitech. That's their whole thing. There are the Margravians, who are a faction comprised of the nobles who run the cities outside of the capital. So the way the nobility kind of works here is that being a noble isn't necessarily owning land. Certain nobles, like Lord Edmund Beverley, who is in charge of Kelshar, he would be a member of the Margravians. This faction is comprised of those nobles who run the major cities in the Empire and don't actually live in the capital, where most of the nobles live. It's a pretty disorganized faction that really only agrees on one thing, that Parliament needs to stop focusing on the welfare of only the capital, because that's what they tend to do, and they push for their own agendas outside of the capital. There's the populists, who are very small but very vocal, and they act in the at least they say they act in the interest of the common people, who have no representation in the government. So they're like, we're the representation of the common people. We hold city councils and we hear what they want, and we do that. It's a pretty even split of like people who actually care about the common folk and people who say they care about the common folk to become popular with the common folk. And then the rest of the House of Lords, who are derogatorily called the Platinum Chorus because they became nobles by being rich, and they're going to use being nobles to become richer. So that he tells you about the political parties. They are a member of the House of Lords. And technically a noble in the Zymorian Empire, but they don't really attend Parliament a ton anymore. Yeah, so they talk a lot about that. Shandi, you know that the House of Lords is led by an elected member within the House, named by the name of the Chancellor, and the Chancellor sort of collects the information and runs meetings and is the go-between between the Emperor and the House of Lords. There's a new one, actually, these days. There is a new Chancellor who has only been a noble for this summer, and Resk hates him so much. He is known as the Jade Prince. He is a Cruthian merchant who befriended the Empire and rose to nobility quite quickly. Do you share this information with the class?
Who's sitting next to me, like directly?
I don't know. Who is?
How close are you to the front?
Front and center.
Una, then.
Oh, not me.
I'm right there. I'm right there.
As Coral goes on about certain things, whenever I have like a point I want to interject on and like share my personal insight, I'll lean over and whisper it.
So yes, Una, you hear this from Shandi, and Una, you can make a history check, unless you as a player recognize that name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Then
met him in hell? No, not in hell.
you met him
but-
in Kruth in the bazaar.
Right. Okay.
Coral seems to have no knowledge of this, as Coral has not attended Parliament in a long time, and is very begrudgingly telling you about it. But the rest of politics class goes on in that way. until they decide, right, it's over.
Oh, wait. When Shawnee told me about the Jade Prince, I would have like looked at everyone in the room individually and shared that information mentally. Be like,
All right.
We met that guy. We met that guy. We met that guy.
And Everett, you're confused because you didn't meet that guy.
Well, no, I wouldn't have said
All
it to
right,
Everett. Sorry.
Yeah, but class, unless you interject, class goes on and class eventually ends. Yeah. Cool.
Well, as class is ending, Everett's gonna pull Shandi aside, outside the class as
Okay.
they walk away. And he's gonna say, "Hey, so, do you think that they could make something that looks like this?
To move it to the side a little bit, side.
Do you think
There
that
you
they
go, there
could
you go.
make something that looks like that for me, maybe? Because I've been working on the design, and I think that that's probably what I want."
Well, the base design, I don't see any issue with. Are those flames coming off of it?
Yeah. I mean, ideally, that would be what
Well,
would happen.
It's not impossible, and I whip out my rapier and say ember and light it aflame. But this required some extra enchanting. I don't know if Evelyn's capable of that. It may, you may have multiple steps if you want to achieve that goal, and I'll sheath my sword.
Cool. All right. Good to know.
But it's a great place to start.
Awesome.
All right.
And then Everett's gonna not go to economics class.
Michael, I feel like you were acting right there. Is there something you want to do?
No, this is a legitimate Michael movement.
Oh.
Not an acting movement.
I see. All right, yes. And finally, is economics. Who's going to economics?
Not
Oh.
Shandy.
Tether, Septon, maybe Una. We'll see.
Septon's awake all day. He's got to go do something.
Yeah, Tether is so her head hurts so badly after all these classes.
I mean, I guess you can fall asleep if you want to, but
No, I'm treating it as we can't fall asleep.
Okay. All right. You head into a classroom decked out in charts and figures, and you see Mr. Lee. Mr. Olmander Lee is moving around, setting things up, putting things. The underclassmen that are here are Cynthia, again, Dagar, and Elias.
Are they all sitting together?
Dagar's not sitting. He's helping Mr. Lee set things up. Elias and Cynthia are sitting next to each other, just like very awkwardly. Elias seems to like be starting to like say something, but Cynthia's like very focused and is taking notes on everything that's getting set up.
oh, before class starts, Septon will go to Elias. Elias.
Yes.
We were told we're supposed to be starting clubs. I was gonna start a music club.
That sounds delightful.
I seem to remember you had a musical.
Yes, I love to sing.
Yeah, no, well then I play instruments, sing a little. I figure just a very chill thing. People bounce ideas off each other, get together,
All right.
jam, whatever it is. We'll figure it out once we make it. Can you come with me sometime this afternoon, Mrs. Lee, and we just like pitch the club? She said I
Yes.
need one other person.
Oh, I would love to. I'm sure some other people might be interested in joining us too.
Yeah, Cynthia, if you're into music, join us.
I don't think I'll have a lot of time for clubs, but perhaps.
Believe me, you have more time than you think around here.
Well, I intend to take every elective, so I don't think I will. I need to get the most out of my experience, and I'm not very musically inclined, though I did learn the piano as a child.
Let us know.
Right. Dagar sidles over and says, "Music club?
You play? You sing? You do something?
I've dabbled.
Yeah, I mean, Elias and I are gonna get started, but once we like have the funding and like a meeting, show up.
All right.
No harm.
Okay. Interesting. would you join? Nah, you probably wouldn't.
Nah, well, what is it?
Don't worry about it. Class is starting. And he sits down on the other side of you, so he flanks you and Elias.
So Septon is taken?
Septon is
Both
taken.
sides?
Yeah.
Heather, who had been hovering that whole time, goes and sits alone in an island on the other side of the room.
Una, did you come to economics, or are you not taking this
No.
class? Yeah, I didn't. Okay. All right. Old Man Lee turns around and says, "Welcome to economics. Oh, come on over. Come on, join the class. I don't have to talk to a whole room. There's only like 5 of you here. You can sit behind them.
Behind
Yeah.
Septon.
Yeah. All right. So, I am Olmander Lee. Some of you know me. Some of you don't. But I used to be a businessman. A rather good one at that. That is until Anglith Favalar showed up with his Televane money and changed the game, but I digress. I'll be talking to you about economics, primarily from a Zymorian perspective, because that is what I'm used to, that's where we live, that's what we're going to be talking about. But I have also, in my retirement, become quite interested in the history of money in general from all around Assyria. So today, and he pulls out a case, and he opens it up, and there's just a bunch of different coinage, of different shapes and sizes and patterns. We're going to talk about different coinage from different parts of the world. Sounds exciting, right? Yes, Tether.
Who decided on money?
Well, that's something we're going to talk about. Who decided on this form of money? There is an answer. It was an old emperor of Salos. Was the first one to decide the platinum, gold, silver, copper standard for the world. And most people took after them, but not all. There's 2 very unique examples nearby of cultures that kind of ignored that and did their own thing. Well, 3, really, if you count Nildor. But maybe you shouldn't. Anyway, here, and he pulls out a bunch of coins that look very familiar to you. These are coins minted in the Zymorian Empire. And these coins are all square. Did you know you had square gold this whole time? Now you do.
I reject square gold.
Too bad. Dude, imagine.
This is the ultimate Mandela effect.
Yep. It was always gold.
Like, it's always changing the story on us.
I'm not. It has always been square. I've actually said this in the campaign before, but it was a brief aside because you got paid in a different country's currency one time, and it was a different shape. But Zymorian coins are square, and because of the Magitech advancements of the Empire, they're very decorated. Depending on where they're minted, though, each type of coinage has different iconography, but the general rule is that copper is decorated with the elemental symbol of its home region. So Kelsharian copper has the giant rune for earth. Copper from your hometown, Una, has the giant rune for fire. Copper in Sarduk is kind of mixed because Sarduk can be in a bunch of different regions at once. Silver has is printed with animals associated with the area. So Kelsharian silver has a mixture of mudwolves, large birds, and foxes. Gold is marked with the coat of arms of the lord of the region. Kelsharian gold has a hoe and scythe crossed over a mountain, which is the symbol of Lord Beverly. And platinum has the emperor's sigil printed on it, which is just the flag of Zymor. Bergen Coalition tender is very uniform, despite the coalition being made up of 4 independent countries. Do you like this session where I just throw lore at you? Are you enjoying this? Are you having fun? There's 4 independent countries that make up the coalition, and part of that agreement was to all use the same coinage. And most of it is classic dwarven currency, which copper through gold. Circular currency with holes in the center that get threaded onto cords to carry gold around. The only exception is platinum. Thanks, Jess. The only exception is platinum, which is perfect circles with a delicate bat engraved in each, as platinum is only mined in Mercath because it's not found anywhere else in the coalition, so it has the symbol of Mercath on it. The elves of Nildor somewhat begrudgingly adopted the metallic standard of money, preferring to use those materials for construction, but willing to accept the customs of the rest of the world under their policy of making no waves after the whole Valhenshi situation. Northern Nildor doesn't produce their own tender at all. Instead, they just use, in Nildor, the Burning Coalition's gold in the south, and Caerleone's gold in the north, in the Henwaith. Speaking of which, Caerleone's coinage is the simplest of the lot. It is just... No tender, I hardly know her. It's just like hunks of metal. It's vaguely round. There's no decoration. Caerleon coins are haphazardly forged and are often a little bit too big. There's too much of the respective material in a particular coin. So a Caerleon gold coin can have like more gold than most other gold coins, but they're valued the same because they're just shitty hunks of gold. In other parts of the world, Salos, the country that began the world's economy, it has rounded coins with intricate decorations on them. It did! As it stands, the Salos started it. There wasn't civilization, to put it this way, there wasn't civilization before Salos, so there also wasn't economy.
Okay, I didn't know what you meant by started the world's economy.
Yeah, I mean, they founded
that
civilization.
makes sense.
Yeah, so they decided what the economy is, and they set the standard. Kruth uses the Selosian standard, but gets real funky with it. Kruthian currency pretty much only comes from 3 locations in Kruth, Kion, Maltak, and Dathair, and the coinage that comes out of the cities is wild. It isn't accepted in the rest of the world as legal tender because it is just made in artistic shapes and patterns. They make it look pretty, they make it look fun. They get wild with it. Some of it's very valuable because it's like, oh wow, how'd you make metal do that? But it's not usable in most places. And then there are the 2 that don't operate on the normal standard. The first, Relfheim, which is the other country in the Lands of the Gods Forgot, they don't value minerals, despite being ruled by what was once a mining corporation. They completely ignore platinum, copper, and silver entirely, instead just kind of shipping it over to Kruth as trade goods. They simplify the exchange down to just gold. But gold only makes up the lower end of their economy, as the second material is used to run the country. It's called a manasite and is regulated ridiculously harshly by the Grand Magistry of Relfheim, the ruling body. In fact, if manasite is found outside of Relfheim, they will send hit squads out to kill whoever took it and bring it back to Relfheim. It is a huge... The country runs on manasite. It is both currency as well as a resource for them. And then finally is Karth. Karth uses paper money, as metal is too valuable to the war effort. The paper money began a long time ago as deeds of promise. That was the currency. You would write a deed to promise to do something for someone and they would hold on to it, and that was valuable in the very strict etiquette of the country at the time. But as thousands of years have passed, the value has abstracted, and it is just paper money that doesn't actually have a concrete value, sort of like the US dollar. You can technically make new deeds, but they're not worth as much. The older the deed, the more valuable it is how that works there. So he talks you through all sorts of money, and he lets you hold some of it. He has some from everywhere, and it's neat. It's very hands-on. He's an energetic guy, and it seems like he's both knowledgeable as well as just a fun kind of kooky dude. So this is gonna be an interesting class. Yeah, what's up, Michael? Oh, is this Tether? Tether!
After this whole long explanation. So, they are all different and not the same?
Well, in most places, platinum, gold, silver, and copper have the same value. They just look different based off of where they were made. Unless you go to Karth or Relfheim, you're good. You're golden. What's confusing? Well, let me walk you through it.
So the copper is the least?
Yes. Then silver, then gold and platinum.
Why?
You'd have to take that up with a long-dead emperor, my friend.
And how can I find him?
Oh, you can't. That was sort of rhetorical. It was decided a long time ago based off of the value of those particular materials when they were first minted into coinage, because copper is plentiful, silver's a little rarer, gold's even rarer than that, platinum is the rarest of all. Not only that, but they have different uses in magical formulas, and it's sort of dictated down in that order as well. So rarity and usefulness are what determined it a long time ago. That was, several thousand years ago now. But then you look at countries like Relfheim or Karth, who have developed their own value systems based on completely different things. I imagine those new continents that were found last year have their own money system that has nothing to do with ours. I don't think Salos reached that far, necessarily. But who knows? It is the Empire of the Sun, so... Alright, well next time we're going to get into some economic theory. We've done the show and tell, we've done the fun history, but we're going to get into economics, plain and simple. But that's all for today. And that's why we'll never go minute to minute through an economics class again, because I don't know dick about economics.
I was gonna say,
Peter becomes DM for economics.
Yeah, you want a
So,
DM economics class?
I want to make Blake teach an economics class.
Well, to be fair, it's fantasy economics, so the principles might be different.
I don't see how they possibly could be.
Yeah, not under like the standard system that exists.
Yeah, it's like you see, money cannot be exchanged for goods and services because it's fantasy.
Well, I mean, if you look at like Relfheim, it is definitely a different economic system because their money isn't just money; it is also fuel and a magic source and all sorts of things. So like
That's true.
that economic system is different, but he doesn't know shit about that. He knows about Zymorian economics, which is just capitalism. So
I mean, there's a reason we don't use a lot of metal money these days.
Yep. All right, and that is Monday. Your day finishes. If you have anything you want to do tonight, Tether, you are exhausted from going to so many classes. Does anybody have anything they want to do today? We're going through the week,
Yeah.
gang, by the way.
Boys talk, boy talk.
I'll be with you guys in a minute. Una,
Yeah.
hear me out here.
Okay.
If you get breakfast with me every day, we literally don't have to sleep.
Fucking coffee lock ass.
We literally don't have to sleep. Which means we won't get anything back that we get on a long rest. But we can go to every single class for the first week. I'm not doing it after that.
Okay.
What do you say?
I mean, sure. I probably won't go to every class. But
I'm gonna go to every class the
Well, I
first week to
can.
see what they're all about.
yeah, how is economics?
I don't think it's for me.
Yeah.
Might be. It might be. I don't know.
My,
I'm excited on this culture class on Friday.
I'm interested in that too.
I want to know what that's all about.
Mhm.
Cool.
I'm also, yeah. Alright, boys talk? What is this?
Yeah, the Everett and Shandi call a boys talk in the boys wing.
Oh no.
Sean D calls the boys talk. Everett
Yeah.
shows up.
Alright, Shandi, why have you called forth boys talk?
So earlier today, Everett and I were discussing his no days off philosophy.
Ah, yes. Not one I particularly subscribe to.
Yes, and that's what I was trying to explain to him is, sometimes people need a day off.
Day off can be good. I mean,
And I think as the expert, you could espouse the values of a day off to Everett.
oh, Everett, a day off. Septon, that's going right over his head. Everett, a day off's the most important thing. A day off's a day you get to do all the stuff you didn't do on your days on.
Britt looks at Septon. It's just like, well, that sounds all right for you.
I mean, I know. I think Sean D probably is arguing the physical health side of it, which I know is what you're more interested in. Is Sean D? I mean, Sean D, I know Sean D loves doing the calisthenics every morning, but Sean D, you take a day off, right?
Oh yes, we don't do calisthenics on weekends.
I think even Captain Sheena gives the guards like a day. You know, she doesn't want their muscles to get overworked or pulled or anything. So I mean, you know, if Captain Sheena's doing it, maybe there is some value to this day off thing, you know?
Yeah, but that's good for them.
Hey, I mean, we're not gonna stop you if you legitimately are no days off in this thing.
We just wanted to present an alternative point of view in case you would. You know, it's healthy to see different points of view sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want you overworking yourself so that when we wind up on that first quest, you're tired. I say as a person who's not planning on sleeping for the next 5 days.
And more importantly, you wouldn't want to overwork yourself before the big dance.
True. Gotta save energy for the important things in life, like partying.
Yeah, that sounds fun. But I think if I work really hard, then I'll be like ready for that.
Oh, well, I mean, you could like prep for the dance, you know. Do some workouts, get your dance moves real good. That is true.
Yeah, so that's probably what's good for me, is just like not taking any days off. And then what's good for you guys is to take days off, and that's what's good. Yeah. So I'll be in my room.
All right.
Oh, all right. I guess
Shandi.
I'll see you at calisthenics tomorrow.
Shandi,
Yes.
I know who we need. I know who. I'll get somebody to talk to him.
Okay. I trust you.
I'll get somebody to talk to him. Obviously not today. I can't.
Oh yes, no. Boys talk tomorrow.
Actually, no.
Same time.
No. Wait a minute.
Well, you're not gonna sleep, so.
I don't have to sleep. Well, so what time is it? It's like evening, right?
Yeah, the sun is still
Right.
up.
Casting sending.
All right.
I will cast sending to my boy Yannick.
Okay. You got 25 words.
25 words. Yannick! Everett is on your whole no days off thing. Gotta make sure he doesn't hurt himself. That's one word. Chat about it when I see you. Night.
You wait a moment and you hear in your head, bro! I forgot you can do that! That is sick, dog! Little bros on no days off? Good for him! Good for him! We can get swole together! Peace!
Don't worry, Shani, we're making progress.
If you say so.
While this is happening, Una hears a knock on the small stone door.
Huh?
She crawls in. Una, I
Yeah?
took the economics course, and I didn't understand a thing. And I don't think it's gonna help me. What's a mortgage? And what are property taxes?
I don't know.
I took
Well,
the
I mean,
ball-
I know taxes is something you pay. That adults pay. Anytime you own it's like you know. So you own a house, right?
Yeah.
Some
I told the boss
people.
that since I own it, I wanted to handle all the stuff, but I think that was the wrong idea.
You might want to look into an accountant.
I can count fine.
No,
Did I laugh at you?
no. An accountant is someone who just handles your money.
So I can have
But
money,
you
not
also have to-
have money?
But you also have to pay them. So you just have to take that into account as well.
Okay.
Or
I guess if
you're-
if it's a blanket of the house, I could have the group.
I was gonna say, is one of your buddies good with money?
They're good at taking it, so maybe.
Are they good at paying a monthly fee? A monthly cost?
I'm good. I probably.
Okay. That could be something worth looking into, especially if you want to keep like the other priorities of the house under wraps, you know?
Okay. I don't think I'm gonna go to economics ever again.
Yeah, didn't sound great.
I didn't know you could hire an economic guy to just do your economics for you.
I think so. I feel like with enough money you can hire anyone to do all the stuff you don't want to do. Like that's the point of being rich. Right?
Yeah, technically I think I'm rich.
Were.
I mean, you do own a house that's a pretty big deal.
Okay. Oh, when I was buying the house, the realtor
Mhm.
asked if I had a Roth IRA. What is that?
Can we cut to black?
We
Because
can,
this
both
got
for your
too
sake
real.
and also for the lore of my world's sake.
This guy-
Fantasy Roth IRA.
All right, the next day is Tuesday. You have classes as normal. One of them is tactics. And in tactics, you are shown the thing.
Is this thing?
The map that you are
Oh, I didn't see what was written underneath.
playing
Whoa.
on.
Don't say anything about what's written underneath.
It says Braum sucks, big if true. I read it. I have eyes.
Big if true. It was big ass.
Yeah, it says something else.
Yeah.
It was not
Wait.
big if true.
I think it also says big if true.
I might have written. I mean, somebody might have written big A $sign.
All right, well
I
we're
think
we're
is
going
what I
back.
wrote.
We're going back to read it.
Yeah.
Show us.
Braum sucks, big ass, big true. Well, and then all this. All right.
We're just
You like
showing
you
the
like
group.
me?
Oh, it was we. Okay.
We just needed a place to write our bathroom graffiti, because
Yeah.
that would definitely show up.
Great. All right. This is. Can you all see this?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is your map. These are all one-story buildings. They have tile roofs on them. The ones with a little pane in the middle are windows. The ones that don't have that are doors. When the actual fight comes, your vision will be restricted to things you can see, just so you know. And though the training arena does continue in this direction over here, we're limiting the scope of the assessment to just what's on this map. There's a fountain too with running water.
Interesting
Like-
sight lines here.
Yeah.
How long do we have to hide the thing?
10
or
minutes.
Place?
You will all line up here, and then a clock will be started. You will have 10 minutes to enter, find a location, set up your defenses before the underclassmen come in.
And are they approaching from the same angle, or can
Yes.
they come in from any side?
They are coming in from here.
What is the ground made of?
The same sort of packed dirt that the training arena always has. But the inside is wood.
How does mold earth work?
Should you get an opportunity to buy stuff? This isn't... this isn't Valorant. It's not even that similar to Valorant. It's just competitive.
OD, OD, OD.
Magic
Except
missile
for
is
thing
the
we're
Odin.
projecting is
Give
the thing
Septim
we're
the
projecting static, or can we move it?
It will be static. You have to place it and keep it there.
You can't just keep moving.
No, you have to place it somewhere and keep it there.
Oh.
I was like,
I was
what
gonna
if Everett
gloves
just,
of the
like,
porter.
casts dimension door and just takes it somewhere else.
Now you have to set it up and you have to set up the fences, but it will stay. It will stay in one place. That's part of the game.
How hard is it? Do we know?
Wait,
It's not that hardy.
guys.
It seems pretty easily damaged.
We put it in this really narrow alleyway up on the top left. Then we put the gloves of the porter on
That's what I was
either
gonna say.
side.
That's what I was gonna say.
You can't actually get to it.
That's what I was
You
gonna
just
say.
warp back and forth.
Yeah. And then I'll like stone shape the roof. Oh wait, it's wood. Never mind.
It's wood.
I mean,
They could come. They
still
could
wanna-
come from above.
yeah,
Technically.
that is.
Well,
That's, we don't
I mean,
know.
once they're in there.
Then they just break it and win.
Oh right.
Yeah.
They don't
yeah,
have to.
wouldn't
They don't have to
would
take it.
Yeah, that I had that in my mind for some reason.
Hang on.
I mean, if they're all one-story buildings, you said.
They are all one-story buildings.
Okay.
Yes. About 15 feet tall, with sturdy roofs. You could probably walk on if you wanted to. Yeah, there is fire in this building here. There's a little cook area, a little oven. This has running water. I believe that's all. There are crates in here, and if you open them, they're empty. Just empty crates.
Could we stone shape the fountain around the thing, and then we're all on the roofs around the fountain? Is that a thing?
Sure, man, yeah,
Boys,
whatever.
And we lie in
Well, I'm
wait,
asking,
and when they enter the fountain square, we just unload on them from above.
I mean,
We've all got ranged capabilities, don't we?
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna probably cast a hallucinatory terrain and make it so there's like at least like 8 different setups of the thing. Or probably
Oh.
more.
How's that work?
It's a spell that is a 10-minute cast time.
Okay.
That you can make it natural. You can make. It's fuck. Never mind. It's natural terrain. Never mind.
It's a good idea, though.
I think just like tell me where to stand with my sword.
Well, Everett, I guess should we go into town today and see about commissioning that, because they do take a bit of time to make. It should ensure it's ready by next Monday.
Okay, let's
Wait,
do that thing.
you have other abilities you could contribute,
It's kind of
right?
lame. It's kind of lame. So
but it's
I
for
don't-
the sake of winning.
no, that's a good point. But like, I think that I just would really contribute the best if I were holding a sword, probably.
I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with you on that, Everett. We've seen what you can do. You're a talented spellcaster. I think you'd be best off playing to your strengths here.
I mean, you know, I've been taking no days off, and I've gotten a lot stronger. So I think that I could really. I think that this is like where I need to go. You know. For me.
Everett, I don't want to sound harsh, but I think you're wrong.
Well, that's what's good for you.
So Everett, we all had a summer of personal growth and development. But I'm kind of focusing on like what I know I have done best and have the most experience in. I'm not gonna focus on my new skills just for this assignment. I don't want to. I've been figuring out how to mind trick people. I'm not gonna do that just yet. It's not super refined yet, so I just want to beat the first years.
Yeah,
Nice.
I think that we're going to.
I'm
And I
like,
think that if you use, the stuff that you're used to, that'll really help us.
hear me out, guys. What if we don't try to beat the first years? No.
He said that before.
Hold on. I want to.
sacrifice the grade. Oh, wait,
No.
ungraded.
It's ungraded.
It doesn't
Here's the-
technically, yeah.
I want to get the meal. I do want to win, but I'm also almost more curious as to like what their skills are.
We'll see that. Hey,
I guess that's true. It's not our
Right?
job to test them.
I just feel like we should be putting our best feet forward.
No, you're right.
Because I don't know. I feel like if we do a bad job, the new tactics professor could be really mean. Like, oh, okay. I feel like she could make fun of people really easily.
It'd be worse
feel
than
like
our
she's-
last
I
tactics
feel like she's
professor.
really okay. Well,
But
prom
I can
sucks.
count. But I'll counter.
We're
who
getting
cares?
tattoos.
If people think if people make fun of us or anything, who cares?
I care.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
That's all I needed to know.
So, are we going with the fountain plan or the alleyway plan?
I mean, how long does stone shape take to cast?
And I don't know. All right, can you mold a statue with stone shape? I don't know how it works.
There's stones around that fountain.
Let's check it out. It's stone. I mean, the fountain is made of stone.
Mhm.
Let's look up stone shape. 4th level spell. You touch a stone object of medium size or smaller. It's not, but you could, I would say you could use it on part of the thing. Form an entity shape that suits your purpose. You could shape a large rock into a weapon, make a small passage through a wall, as long as the wall is less than 5 feet thick. You can shape a stone door on its frame to seal the door shut. The object you can create has up to 2 hinges and a latch, but finer mechanical detail isn't possible. It is a 1-action spell, so you couldn't. Yeah.
Could we do it? Could we do a thing where I stone shape the thing, and place it inside the stone of the fountain, and then have the stone mold back into place, so it's just like inside the stone fountain and you can't see it?
Yeah, take 2 4th level spell slots, but you could do that.
Could we
That's what
then
I was
throw
thinking.
dome over the statue anyway?
Honestly, yeah.
Might as well have as many layers to this as we
Yeah.
can.
And then I'll put a wall of fire around the dome.
Yeah.
You could do that.
What if we did all that, but then actually just like put the
Put it somewhere
thing,
else.
the pet,
It's
the
not
thing in a
in there.
corner, like
Yes, we just stone shape the
Oh,
statue
just
into like
be-
a small rock and
just to
put
be
it in the
fucking
corner.
trolls. Oh my gosh.
They open it up
still
and there's just a
maintain
note that
if
says
we're
like, haha.
I still maintain the mission is to defend this object. The best way to defend it is to teleport it thousands of leagues away.
I don't think we're allowed to take it out of
It's
the
got to be
arena.
in the arena. That's,
Okay.
Hey, can I cast invisibility on an object?
I don't know.
It's only
Can
a
you?
creature.
Check this. Yeah.
Anything the target is wearing or carrying.
I think that more refers to like things they have in their hands, but I'd allow it.
As long as it is on the target's person.
I'd allow it as long as you don't let go of it. It could stay invisible with you, so you could just hug the thing and be invisible if you wanted.
We'd set up all these defenses, and then someone else is in another room hugging it.
Is that worth the risk? It's so funny though.
It's got a big brain. It's kind of stupid too.
Mm-hmm.
I can like take a minute to like summon a bunch of minor elementals so that they have to fight through before they can get to us.
What if we just
What
like,
if
What if we just don't overthink this, and we just put it down? Maybe we slap the dome over it. Maybe we put it in the rocks. But then we just kind of fight them off. I mean, I can hold person. I
Right.
can polymorph.
Right.
Like, we can just kind of try to hold them as long as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is just an assessment after all.
Also,
Yeah.
remember how we were when we started?
Yes,
Messes.
Brom almost killed me in one hit.
Yeah, I don't want to underestimate them. These guys could be really strong, but I don't know. Not like I don't want to go too hard on them. I don't want to assume they have all the experience we've had.
But also
Experience.
remember.
I don't know if they have as much experience as us.
Yeah, but remember the big eel fight, and some of us got new powers. What if this is their eel fight?
Barring us in the arena gives them new powers.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, if we are unsure of their skills, and I know it's a bit underhanded, but we could perform some light reconnaissance this week.
That's what I was gonna try to do.
Might as well.
Sneak into them. Well, not sneak. I was just gonna talk to them.
And stay up all night.
It's true.
Yeah, did anybody else join Septon for breakfast?
Wait. Yeah. What if we brought breakfast? Do they have their own house?
Yeah, they have a dorm, just like yours.
Let's bring them breakfast tomorrow.
Poison them. Oh,
No.
we're being nice.
Being
If we
nice.
establish it now, and then we keep doing it every day, and then the day before,
Nope,
I
nope.
poison them.
I say we go, we do the breakfast offering, kind of as like a genuine welcome, but if someone says something, we remember it, we hang on to it.
Yeah, we can hear like see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we need to keep in mind they're probably gonna try to watch us too.
Fair to assume when they're not in class, they're watching us.
Perception check.
Yeah, roll it.
Perception check.
Where even are we?
You're in the arena somewhere. Doesn't matter.
We're walking around the arena.
Oh, poops. 11.
With your perception, you got 11.
Yeah, I rolled a 3.
Yeah, no sign of anybody watching necessarily. Kerfley's there. Kerfley's watching, but he's
We're
always
good.
here. So
I got a 26.
26. Yes. Also, no sign of anybody watching. Nobody's
cool.
nobody's messing with you right now.
Except for Kerfley.
No,
that
he's
was a
just
bit,
he's just
that
watching.
was a bit meta. You don't know what I rolled.
What?
That was a bit meta, Michael.
I was always.
He,
good.
I think he was always
Okay,
also going.
okay.
Yeah.
Neither of you see anybody watching except for Kerfley. He's there, but he's not trying to hide. He's just hanging out because that's his job, is to be at the arena. So
Yeah, I mentioned it, so I was gonna do it.
Okay.
okay. I'm gonna give you guys free reign to look at this map. You should be able to just click on and off of it as much as you want. So it's yours. During sessions and out of sessions, if you want to make some plans, it's your call. Cool. Well, there's academics and politics as well. But we don't have to do that. The only other thing today is Magitech. Is anybody going to Magitech class? Okay, then we'll skip it.
I mean,
I was
gonna
sorry.
go.
Oh,
Yeah.
Septon and Shandi are going to go to Magitech class. Cool, it's the midday Magitech class. One of the classrooms of the tower has been turned into sort of a foundry. There's a little forge in the corner. There's a giant crate of glowing sapphires and a wealth of metal and objects and tools to socket sapphires into them. Hesselfast Emberly is here, and he's not the only one. Elias is here as well. Maeve is here, and so is Cynthia, of course. Says, welcome to the Magitech class. Now, I grew up on Magitech. I grew up with Magitech. I was there when it was invented. Not quite, but close. Magitech is the science of allowing magical power, arcane power, to be wielded by those who don't have any themselves. That is the founding principle of Magitech. You take an enchanted object, Normally, an enchanted object requires some sort of proficiency to use. You can't just pick up a staff and start casting fireball if you didn't know how to cast spells in the first place. But with a Magitech staff, the arcane power required to activate the object is stored within the object itself. So, it's a great equalizer in a way, but that is the big downside, is that it requires, and he grabs a sapphire and sort of tosses it up, jewels like these to act as batteries, conduits, that we store the magical power into. It's a term. Batteries is a term we made up for what this is. Septon. Yes. So this is a depletable resource. In order to continue to use an object after it's been used somewhat, it does need to be refilled. We have not developed a way to make completely sustainable arcane energy to keep Magitech artifacts working no matter what, but that is something I believe the Arcane Foundry is working on these days. So, those of you that are here, you, Shandi, I believe.
Yes, hello.
What would you like to use in the world that, what would you like to see in the world that Magitech could give you?
Well, I hadn't really fully thought this out, I suppose. I've been working on learning to craft weapons, tools, trinkets, and I was hoping to expand my knowledge in that field through this course.
Right! This is a great place for it. All right, you're on the right place. Septon! What could Magitech give you that you'd like to see in this world? What's something that doesn't exist that you think you could make with Magitech? Are you alright? You look a little pale.
No, something I could create with Magitech doesn't exist.
Alright.
I don't know. I'm struggling to think of things you couldn't technically do with magic.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you could do all sorts of stuff with magic, but your average mom and pop, they can't. So what would you, what would help the world of people who aren't magically inclined?
I suppose, like, being able to travel.
And that is one of the main uses of Magitech these days. You've seen the way stations, right? Those teleportation circles. Now, it usually, and I've noticed here in Kelshar, it still does, require somebody to man the station. But in larger cities, those are automated. We don't require wizards to be casting the spells over and over. In fact, through Magitech means there are many places, one primarily, that mass produces these magic teleportation circles. In fact, in some places, like the capital, public transportation is completely teleportation based. You just get on the plate and you end up at the next one. It's a game changer. All right. The rest of you. Cynthia responds similarly to Shandi. She wants to make magical weapons more accessible to those without magical powers like herself. Maeve says that it would be nice to like make medicine more available to people. Just make it easier for people to access magical medicine rather than having to like trek way out of their way to find a healer or a cleric or something. And Elias says that he's not sure, he's just curious because he's never really looked at technology before, which Emberly doesn't seem to like that much, but and he starts to explain the basics, that you need the batteries, you need arcane conduits, and sapphires, for some reason, no one's totally sure why, are the ones that work the best for this, but any gemstone will do. And the class sort of devolves into him just like putting together an artifact, a Magitech device in front of you. It's just he makes a can opener, basically. Like an automated can opener out of some metal and a sapphire. And he says, stuff like this! That would have taken me forever to open. But now, quick. So, class dismissed!
That's one way to receive your beans quicker, I suppose.
And that's the thing about beans, is you need them quick. When you want beans as fast as you can get them.
Well, okay. I'm not sure I can relate to that, but I've never had a serious craving for a bean, but
You haven't lived, boy.
Septon, what about you? Have you ever been thinking about them beans?
You know, there's a day for every kind of food, you know? Some days you might want some beans,
Right.
I suppose.
But when you want beans, you want them as soon as possible. Am I wrong? Is that incorrect?
I'll tell you what I really don't want these days.
What?
Eel.
Whoa. Yeah, I guess. But they don't really can eels, so I think you're probably all right.
Oh, chef can eel.
All right. Well, you finish up your class. If there's anything anybody wants to do with the rest of their day today. Yes.
Go buy a sword.
All right. You make your way up into Kelshar. Yeah. And you're not alone, actually. Some of the underclassmen come with you up into Kelshar as well, because apparently they got jobs.
Lame.
Maeve comes with you. And she seems excited to be going with you, Everett. She's like, "Oh, we could take a trip to town together."
Yeah, no, that'd be good.
I got
great. It's
sorry.
it's great that they're coming because I would like to begin to do I Belong Here with the underclassmen,
What do you mean?
if that's okay. My thing that I get to do.
Right. Yes.
My
your
special
downtime activity. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. We'll have you make a roll for that at the end of the week, but you begin to hang out with them and spend some time with them.
Great.
Absolutely. Maeve says, "Yeah, I got a job at Daphne's shop, so Daphne and I are going to be working together.
That's great. Congratulations.
I'm looking forward to it.
Do I know what Daphne does?
Yeah, she's a seamstress. She works in a clothing store.
Do you have any experience? Or you just like hire you because she likes?
I'm good with my hands. I make my own clothes, so I thought maybe I could make clothes to sell as well.
Nice. Well, that's very cool.
Runia and Dagar are coming as well. Runia says, which one of you, Septon? Septon's not there. It's just
I was gonna say, I didn't go.
It's just Sean D and Everett.
Septon isn't here.
Oh, okay.
Do you want us to take a message?
No, we work at the same place, so I thought I'd talk to him about it.
Oh. Well, I'm sure you'll have an opportunity. Sorry.
Bless you. Okay, I was gonna go up and just like sort of learn the ropes from do you know Greg?
No. But I'm sure Septon does,
Okay.
and he's probably nice.
Would have been nice if he was here then, I guess, but I'm supposed to learn the ropes of the wait staff, so.
Wait, I know I said that I would go with Everett, but Everett, did you come get me before going to get their sword, or did you just leave on your own?
I think Everett would have waited for you, probably.
Okay.
We
Just
made
wanted
a
to
plan.
confirm that I am indeed here.
Yeah, you're here. And Dagar says, "Hey, we're both in service jobs. I'm working at the dance hall. I'm working at the Minotaur. I don't know if you know about that. If you've been there."
Yes, lovely memories at the Minotaur.
Right. I heard it kind of shut down for a bit, but it's recently reopened, and I got hired on as wait staff, so should be fun.
Let's hope so. Let's hope it goes, better for you than the last people who worked there.
What?
Don't worry about it. I'm sure things are fine now. We saved the city.
Okay. I'm just not gonna press. I feel like I don't want to know.
That's for the best, I guess. Yeah.
Right. So you make your awkward way up. Well, it's not that awkward because Maeve is here and she's engaging everyone in conversation as much as she can because that's what she does. But you head your separate ways when you reach the city, and you go to Steelfist Evelyn's. She says, "Oh, Sean D, welcome, and the other one. How's it going?"
Name's Everett.
Right. What can I do you for? Are you here to... I can't really take on another apprentice, but...
That's okay. I just wanna buy a sword.
Oh! Yeah, we got plenty of swords. What kind of sword are you looking for?
Can ever make a history check what's like what's like a famous sword that he would have read about that he thinks is really cool and awesome?
Sure, make a history check.
All right. 19.
Fuck. There's dragon slaying weapons. Those are pretty famous. You know, used to slay dragons. So Dragon Slayer's longsword would be pretty famous. But if you're looking for like named swords, I'm gonna let you make one up because I don't have one off the top of my head.
All right.
Or I mean, I guess there's the Anima Pillar. That was a pretty famous kind of evil one.
Yeah, he's probably not as interested. He's probably not interested in something evil. I think he'll make one up. He'll say.
But it's real with your check. Like what you say is lore. So.
Obviously. Have you ever heard of Bertram's Blade?
Yeah, I've heard of Bertram's Blade.
I think something like that, like something modeled off of that, would be cool. I mean, you don't have to put all the jewels in it or nothing. I know that that's gonna be extra, and I have to find those, you know, as I quest with it. But I think that just like having the sword just to start with like empty holes for the gems.
So you want a replica of Bertram's?
No, I want it to be like real, but like it doesn't have to be.
Right.
Like...
Yeah, that was forged by the Tritons, and I'm a damn good smith, but I'm not that good.
Oh, okay.
I can't enchant
okay.
a sword for you. I can make you a sword, but it won't be magic.
Well, maybe I work up to it. So like maybe like I just like take something that you have.
Right. Yeah. No, I've got all sorts of weaponry. You look like you're a short sword kind of guy. Dagger, maybe?
Yeah, I don't, I think, what's this one? And he points to, like, a really big...
Like a great sword, like a Zweihander.
Yeah.
That is a great sword.
Cool.
You... Kid, that's the size of you. Are you sure? I mean, I'll sell it to you. Are you sure?
Okay. No. It's fine. Maybe just like that one over there, and he points to like, you know, like a sword that's like a size too big for him probably, but like that you could like hold.
Sure. That's a you got a hand and a halfer there. Yeah, that you could. And she's like looking at you, Sean D. Like, what's happening right now?
And he just shrugs.
So Sean D over here, he uses thin blades like rapiers, and that works pretty well for him. You guys have a similar build, but if you want this hand and a halfer, you can totally take it. You know how to use one of these?
Yeah, I'm learning. So
right. Well, it's 15 gold.
I'm sure I have 15 gold, right?
Probably do.
Yeah. Inventory, money, loot. Oh, money. Yes, I have 15 gold. I will pay the 15 gold. I will take the hand and a halfer.
She gives you a hand and a halfer. It's longsword stats.
Cool. Thank you.
Sorry the music is cutting out, guys. My laptop's crashing.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Uh-huh. Well, Shundi, while you're here, did you want to keep the mentorship going? I know we didn't really finish what we started last year before you had to head out.
Absolutely. I was looking forward to it.
Great. Then we will. Then I am here when you need.
Happy to help.
In fact, I don't know how you feel about this, but how would you feel about becoming an official apprentice at my smithy? You'd be paid, but like we wouldn't stop when your project was done. You'd just keep working for me.
The more experience I can get, the better. I'd be
Okay.
happy to.
Because my good-for-nothing daughter left, so I could use some more help around the house.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's good for her, honestly. She joined a blast ball team, and she's doing pretty well for herself, to be honest. But I was kind of expecting her to be around this year, so...
No, I'm happy to fill in.
Great. I'll pay you. I can't pay you much, but I will pay you for your efforts.
All right. Everett, are you satisfied with your purchase?
Yeah, I think this is perfect.
You get a scabbard thrown in, and you can wear it on your back or on your belt. She offers you
he
which
absolutely wears it on his back.
Yep. Which is probably for the best. It would drag on the ground if you wore it on your belt, probably. Yeah, you paint a pretty interesting sight as you walk back. You don't have proficiency with longsword though, so you don't get to add that when you fight with it. So it'll be a d20 plus your strength modifier to attack with. And if you're wielding it with one hand, it's a d8 plus your strength modifier damage. If you're wielding it with two hands, it's a d10 plus your strength modifier damage on hit. Yep. What's your strength modifier?
-1.
Okay.
So, Everett, did you want some pointers on that, or were you gonna wait for a sword club to learn more about the blade?
Oh, yeah. Do you wanna just like do like some sparring or something?
Oh yes, we could do some light sparring. Although I'd suggest you start on the training weapons available at the training range.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
PvP.
I mean, you train. You can go back and you can train. You don't have to actually fight each other. But why don't you just both roll an attack roll to see how it goes?
Cool.
Knowing Shandi.
Everett is, and you absolutely can tell me that this doesn't work because I almost hope it doesn't work. But Everett's going to just like think about a time in his memory where he read a story about somebody who was like really good at using a sword,
right.
And then just try to visualize that and then do that.
Yeah, sure.
Can I make a history check to do that?
Sure.
All right. 27.
Yeah, you visualize a very famous swordsman from Kruth. He was a wandering swordsman known as the greatest of his era before he died after killing a dragon. So he killed the dragon, but he succumbed to his injuries afterwards, and he did it solo, an ancient dragon.
Ain't that the way?
Yep. Go ahead and make your attack roll. You don't get a bonus for remembering this, but you are thinking about it when you do it.
Cool. All right. So it's just a straight up -1. That's
D20
it.
-1 is your attack roll.
Amazing.
Yep.
Amazing. Cool. 5.
What'd you get, Shandi?
20.
So training's rough. Shandi, you're used to this sort of thing, and you're trying to go easy on him, but like the boy can't swing the sword. You can see him trying to do a pretty famous sword style of combat. Like you can recognize, like, oh yeah, no, I've seen people fight like that before, but he just can't emulate it. Like he's setting himself up in the right poses, but when it comes to the actual swings, nothing's working. So depending on how rough you go with him, Everett, you end the day with the training with some bruising, and Shandi, you don't get hit a single time. So
a rarity for Shandi.
I was so excited for this to be a big reveal that Everett had like reclassed over the summer. And so I was so worried. I was like, oh, what if we try to get Everett to like not use a sword, but then like he does. He needs a sword. But now I'm realizing like, no, there's no mechanic thing going on.
Nope. Everett took a level in Wizard and picked up a sword.
Well, that was a first day. We've got 6 more before you're facing real combat with that thing. So, suppose I'll see you here tomorrow night.
See you then. See you then.
No days off.
No days off.
All right. Oh.
Everett goes back to his room and he's like pulling stuff out of his bag, and he's like pretty dejected, and he like reaches in to the bottom of his bag, just like lift out the rest of the crap, and he grabs Glork, which he hasn't touched in like 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
And he just looks at it and he just like throws it onto the bookshelf, and then goes to bed.
Okay. The G is still glowing.
Nice.
So as it's now on the bookshelf, it takes a minute to fall asleep because it's just the glowing light in your room, nightlight style. All right, Wednesday morning. We doing the breakfast thing? Oh, sorry. Did you want to do something today, Tether? I can't hear you.
I just wanted to be known that she went to Elitha, but we don't have to do that.
Yes, you go to Elitha. If there's anything specific that you want to talk to her about, then once we get into time skips, we'll again be doing that sort of thing. But
Breakfast club.
Are we
Breakfast
continuing
club.
the no sleep week?
I guess.
Una have to stay up all night again. What do you do? Like, what do you do through the night, you two?
I read.
All right, fair.
There are
I
so
don't know
many
what the
books
fuck
I can
Septon's
read.
doing.
What is Septon doing?
I did not think this through.
Listen, you said I'm not sleeping for a week. I gotta know what you do when everybody else is sleeping.
Well, what I want to know is no, Septon can like go out like somewhere on campus that like won't bother anyone and like practice his music, work on stuff like that. Like he's down to just relax, like watch the night go by. I assume campus is pretty safe at night.
Oh yeah.
Just like be up and about, see if anyone else is a weird night owl and is out at like 4 a.m.
Yes, actually.
Really? Just like
But-
guards?
Michael had something to say first.
Oh no, because Tether doesn't sleep either.
On purpose?
Because I was there for the breakfast.
Oh, right. Well, this is true. You continued having breakfast?
Yeah, I'll do it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I meant Tether. Like, I know you're doing it, but I didn't know if Tether was continuing with it. Let me
Yeah,
just...
Breakfast Club.
I do need to ask Blake.
Technically, this is not as an intended use of this item, but sure, I'm into it. It's fun. I like it.
What I wanted to ask is, it says here, I can stay awake for a day without taking a level of exhaustion.
Yep.
And I'm unaffected by sleep. Are there any other side effects? Like, am I starting to lose my mind?
I mean, you
due to lack
haven't
of
slept. Like, you haven't taken a long rest. It's definitely not a healthy thing to do, but you're not taking levels of like the normal things that would happen for not sleeping aren't happening. That's what exhaustion represents. So no, you're fine, but it's definitely a weird experience having not slept for 3 days at this point. Like, you've never done this before. You feel wired for sure, but you're not seeing like the Hat Man or whatever, you know, like
Maybe we shouldn't give the first years this.
Oh no,
Or,
I
like-
wasn't gonna do this with
Okay.
them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's not the food, it's the music that he plays while you eat that
In
does it.
fact, to be honest with you, Una, while I wanted to test this to see if it was like a good tool, I don't know if I need to keep doing this week. I
Save
mean,
it for like when we have tests to study for.
yeah, or when we have crime to commit.
This is for the
Sure.
crime room.
Sure.
But in the nights, there you do see someone up most nights actually.
Yeah, I mean, if
Both
something's just,
nights.
like, got
Korok.
time, he'll probably like go hang out and.
Korok. Who's
Yeah,
that? Who's
that's his name,
Korok?
right? Korok.
No,
His name's Korok.
it's not. It's Karak.
Korok. That's
No,
what I'm
it's
saying.
not Korok.
I'm like the same.
Korok.
All right, he is every night
I
practicing
was
in
right.
the train.
It was him.
It was him. You were right. Yes, it is him every night practicing in the training arena alone.
Like all night.
Most of the night.
Until
I
he
feel like-
shows up at your door. Boo!
And something will see him, wave hi to him, probably leave him alone. For the most part.
I
Not
mean, he
gonna-
doesn't really engage with you unless you engage with him.
yeah, I don't think Septon's gonna like mess with him or anything.
I mean, his training isn't necessarily quiet. He's wielding a massive sword and he's splintering dummies. And every time he moves, there's jangling because he is handcuffed.
Right. He's edgy.
Maybe.
Pretty edgy.
I feel like Heather would do like an one night on, one night off thing with the whole not sleeping thing, so she could recover wild shapes. Because the nights that she's on and not sleeping, she has a new ability of changing into birds, and
I think
wild shape for 4 hours at a time.
I was gonna say, I think by the third night, Septon is gonna give this up. Septon's just gonna.
So you got one night of it, or 2 nights of it if you want, but
Yeah. I think he's not gonna probably bother Karak. And I think by the third day, he's just gonna stop.
Cool.
Stop playing during the
Right.
breakfast to keep people up all night. Uno, do you have any problems with that Septon's stopping? I wasn't sure if Uno was getting addicted and was gonna be like.
No.
I'll never sleep again.
No addictions except to coffee now.
But Tether, the first night you turn into a bird, and what do? You just fly around?
Yeah, I'll do crow.
Sounds about right.
Well, actually, I don't have to do crow because I'm green either way.
You're green no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, owls can see in the dark.
Yeah, I'll do an owl. I like an owl. I was thinking about being an owl for the first day of school because they're supposed to be wise, but
In truth, they're really dumb.
I know, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We had owls in my backyard growing up. Those fuckers were the worst.
They're really dumb, actually.
They're dumb and huge.
Huge and silent when flying.
Yeah.
She was just gonna like honestly, she'll like fly around, like see like the night goings on of campus and the surrounding area, but she'll like perch in the trees nearish to the training arena.
Yeah, you watch.
To, like,
Yeah,
watch.
you watch him. I mean, you spent a lot of time around Shandi, and you know Shandi's entire sword fighting style is like very practiced strikes and maneuvers. Like clearly, there's theory behind his fighting. This kid just slams his giant sword into stuff. Clearly, his reflexes are strong and his instincts are good, but like, there's no practiced movement like Shandi. There's no like training. I mean, you probably saw Shandi and Everett doing some sparring the Tuesday, and like a lot of that was like practicing form. Not so here. He kind of reminds you of Turn in a way, where it's all instinct. There's very little thought behind his fight. He's just hitting stuff.
When you say he's hitting stuff, he's still using this sharp end, right?
Yeah.
He's not just like bludgeoning. With
No, but it is big enough that it ends up doing a lot of blood. Like he slams into one of the training dummies and it just splinters. Like he doesn't slash through it. It breaks.
Okay.
If you watch him all night though, you do see he does talk to his sword a couple times.
What's the tone?
It's hard to tell if the sword talks back or if it's just him talking at his sword because no one else is around. But whenever he's taking a break, whenever he gets exhausted, he sits down and he just sits his sword next to him. And I don't know, you can make a perception check if you want to make out exactly what he's saying. But he's just quietly talking to his sword.
Do I use my perception? Because we use our own mental stats, right?
Unless the owl has like a specific perception ability. I think it might have like keen senses, which just gives you advantage. But yes, you would use yours because it's a mental stat.
Okay. Oh, an owl has advantage on perception checks that rely on hearing or sight.
There you go. So you have advantage.
Oh, no. I don't. No! I accidentally gave myself 2d20 instead of just
Right.
advantage. 26.
Yeah. In listening in, It doesn't sound like he's having a conversation with the sword. It sounds like he's making promises to himself in the direction of his sword. Like, it's gonna be different here. I'll prove that it was right for me to come here. Stuff like that.
Okay.
Less like, how are you? Yeah, me too, man. Like, he's not having a conversation. He's just, he spends a lot of time with this sword, so he's kind of talking to himself by talking to it, is the vibe you get.
Sounds good.
But, I mean, as he talks to it, the sword definitely does shift around a little bit, the coloration on it, so it reacts, but he doesn't seem to be having a conversation with it. Cool. Wednesday morning, the Breakfast Club.
Can I've been trying to go to calisthenics every day.
Yep.
It's gotten any better?
Can you build muscle? Like, that's kind of the question, is any of this working?
I don't think so.
Then probably not
mean,
that much better. Are you pacing yourselves, or are you still, like, going crazy immediately? You go on a no days off mode.
I think he's like he's like just trying other things.
Right. Yeah, I mean, then you're definitely not keeping up with the guard and Shandi, but you're not vomiting anymore.
Okay. Okay,
Because
cool.
you're not just, like, sprinting immediately. If you're pacing yourself, you're gonna have a better time. Still exhausting. Like, you're nowhere near any of them, but the Breakfast Club, who is going to the freshman dorm? Una's going.
Okay, I gotta go.
Seton's going. All right. Oh, Tether's going too. Cool.
Can I, instead of using the fiddle of the feast, use the chef feet?
To
Just
make
to make
something
sure
real nice.
Yeah, make sure
Yeah.
I really
Yeah, for
made
sure.
a good breakfast.
For sure.
Could I give Septon advantage if I wild shape into like a rat?
No.
Pull my hair, yeah.
You sure can't.
No.
You can give him advantage by taking the help action and giving him ingredients when he asks for them.
There you go.
Okay.
Ratatouille doesn't
Ratatouille?
exist in this area.
Alright, become a raccoon. It's close enough.
Oh my god.
Everett is going to go as well to continue his I belong here thing.
Right. Okay. So you bring your breakfast. Everybody but Shandi, who's doing calisthenics, makes their way over to breakfast. Unless you want to come, you can come too.
No, I'm sticking. No days off.
No days off. All right.
Unless there's days off. But calisthenics days are not days off.
All right, you head your way over to the other dorm. You knock on the door, and Maeve answers. She goes, "Oh, do you have food?"
Yeah, morning. We thought we'd bring you guys some breakfast.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Yeah, we know you're all getting settled in. We thought we'd
Right.
reach out, and
Sure.
see how you guys are doing.
Well, I'll let everybody know. Come on in, please. Our dining area's over this way, and she points to a table. It's the opposite setup as you guys. Like, their kitchen's on the opposite side of the thing. So it's like the same but mirrored. So their kitchen and dining area are near to each other, but it is the opposite side in this room. As you come in, you can see Dagar is reading a book in the bay window. Looks up.
What book is he reading?
Make a perception check, because he closes it quick.
The Infinite Jest.
17.
Yeah, it's like Infinite Jest. It's not literally Infinite Jest, but it is the equivalent. Like, you'd recognize that as a pretentious white dude book.
Okay. Great.
That'd be funny if it was literally Infinite Jest.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. It is literally Infinite Jest. He's reading Infinite Jest.
I'm gonna stare at it and
Puts it away. He puts it away
and
quick.
linger at it and make him know that I saw it.
If you do that, he's like, "Oh, have you read it? Have you read Infinite Jest?"
Oh no.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you should. It's like the best book. This is my
really
third
shouldn't.
reread. It's so good.
I'm sure you would.
No,
like
listen.
it.
You're never gonna read a book that makes you think the way that this book does.
I could not disagree more.
All right. I mean, if you haven't read it, you don't know, but whatever. I'm saying, open your mind to it, and you'll be thankful.
Okay.
We brought you guys some breakfast if you want some.
Yeah, I noticed. No, I'll take you up on that. No worries.
Figured we'd reach out. Our intro to this place was a little rough, you could say, so we're kind of hoping we can give you guys a better one.
That's the energy I've been getting from around campus. I'm not gonna press, but clearly something happened last year.
I mean, if you want, we can get into it.
No, I mean, I honestly don't care. But,
all right.
Sounds rough, I guess. Runia comes down the stairs next to Cynthia. She goes, hello, everyone. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm okay. Thank you for breakfast. And she sits down and immediately just starts putting food on a plate and looking directly downwards. Cynthia says, I appreciate the kindness. We'll have to organize something to return the favor in the near future.
Oh, there's no need.
No,
I mean,
of course there's
we
need.
definitely appreciate it.
Right, no,
I mean-
we certainly will. And she looks around to try to get acknowledgement, and Maeve nods. Dagar and Runia are just eating. I'm afraid Elias is not here. He already headed out for the day to research the laboratory, and Karak just got back, so I doubt he'll be joining us. But thank you. We appreciate everything.
Of course. How's the first few days going for everybody?
It's going well. It's a lot to take in, but I'm excited for more.
Good. Any issues anybody's having? You know, trouble with professors, giant eels.
I mean,
Yeah.
you'd notice giant eels or death, right? Like we wouldn't have to tell you.
I mean, that one was a joke.
I
but
figured, but no, I mean, not that I have. I'm good, says Dagar. And he says, no, everyone's been really welcoming. I mean, I've never been to school before, so this is new for me, but I feel like I'm adjusting pretty quickly. I don't know. I did want to ask, though, Septon and Everett, for the dance on Saturday, for the homecoming dance, you're going with Daphne, right, Everett? Well, I mean, that's what she's been saying, at least. She's making a dress.
You did ask her in the spring.
Yeah.
Okay, cool,
Yes.
cool. You're going... Do you want to bring somebody from the crew, Septon? Because I feel like they'd appreciate being here for it.
Yeah, let's see. We could work that out. Are you also gonna bring? Are we?
I was
trying to
gonna...
make sure
Yeah,
we
I mean,
bring
I was gonna
everybody?
bring somebody, yeah.
All right. Who do we have there? All right. Daphne's covered.
I was
got-
gonna probably bring Yannick.
All right.
And I know Venna would really like it if you asked her.
I will ask Venna if you can assure me that Daphne wouldn't be like pissed
No,
about that,
Daphne's going with Everett. Daphne's fine.
and I'll ask Venna.
And you all are friends with Isla, right? The rest of
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, we know. Yeah, we know Isla.
Do you have a date to the dance? Because I'd love to get Isla here as well.
Well, I could ask her.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm the.
I can't ask her because I am not going.
You're not going to the... Oh, why not? I don't know what that means.
I'll invite Isla.
Okay, great. I mean, she spoke really highly of you, Una. So,
Oh.
I'm sure she'd appreciate the invitation.
Cool.
And I know Riven and Arlith are purposefully not coming. Well, Arlith is purposefully not coming because he says he wasn't invited. And Riven is
God, it
doing...
makes me want to invite
Sandy.
Arlith.
Riven is doing the Riven thing and saying he'll just hang out.
Andy, you should invite Arlith.
Get Arlith here. Get Arlith
I'm not
here.
here. I don't hear
You
any
know
of
he wants to.
Yeah, Shandi's not at the table right now.
Oh shit! Right,
Right.
Shandi.
Maybe we can get Shandi
We'll
to
get
invite Arlith.
Shandi to invite Arlith.
Okay, and then I'm sure Riven can just come, right? That's probably fine. Or here, Dagar, will you invite our friend Riven? And Dagar's like, I've got a date, so I'm afraid I can't.
Who?
Oh, you probably don't know her.
We know a lot of people up in Kelshar.
Yeah, she lives a little outside of Kelshar. Her name's Lily. Her dad has a farm.
She goes to a different school.
Sounds familiar. Did we meet?
Now that's-
You didn't,
yeah.
but Turn did.
Oh no!
She was a farm girl who kind of had a crush on Turn after helping him join the guard.
Oh yeah.
But Turn's not here. So I already have a date. Sorry, spoken for. Cynthia says, I was going to bring my manservant, Mr. Beldine.
Everett snorts a little bit,
What? As a guest?
but tries to hide it.
These are guests we're inviting, are they not?
True,
well,
but would he be going like as your staff or like as
Right,
a guest?
I think they're more supposed to be dates than guests. Is that correct?
Well, friend, it's not a date.
Right.
with
No. You can
Isla.
take a friend on as like a friend. That's
Right.
true. That's true. I suppose. Are you friends with Mr. Beldine?
Yeah.
Would you describe yourself as friends?
He's my oldest friend.
Oh,
Certainly.
well then, yeah.
But is he paid to be your? That was
No,
really
he hasn't been paid in a number of years.
okay.
Interesting. Yeah. No. Then I mean, I
Yeah.
suppose not a problem.
But if I'm meant to bring a date, I need to start preparing now.
No,
There's-
date's a broad term. Don't worry about it.
I would love to know if that's what it meant, because the courting, there's a lot I have to prepare for if I'm to ask someone to a dance as a date, to follow the right channels. There's a process
are
to
there?
do this by.
Are there?
Are there?
Of course there
Are
are.
there?
Yes. Dagar says. Dagar just shakes his head at you and continues.
History check to know if I know about this.
Okay.
nonsense.
Yeah. Go for it.
23.
Yeah, I mean, she is a Carleona noble. Carleona nobility courtship, dates back.
Siri, sorry.
Carleona nobility's courtship dates back to, Seleucian nobility courtship. It is a very intricate process. Courting someone is, a huge etiquette-ridden endeavor.
As part of my I belong here action, can I just start can I just mention the first thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. It's the first thing you have to do is
Yes, no, absolutely, yes.
But you're in Seymour now. You know,
But
when in Rome,
Where? Who?
when in Kelshire,
Yes,
is what they say.
That's what they say. Yes, I know, but I am trying to follow the knightly path, and to follow the knightly path, there's rules that must be followed. You see. No matter where you are, I mean, that's part of being a knight. You represent
Okay.
your family and yourself, no matter if you're at home or if you're abroad. So is it a date or a guest?
I'm
Yes.
gonna be honest. I don't know at this point.
I need to go. Thank you for breakfast. I need to go ask. I need to
If the-
inquire.
Okay.
She's just gonna stand up and head out, going towards the administration building. Dagar is stifling a smile.
Seems to come from a different culture. I can kind of relate to that.
Yeah, she's got some adjusting to do.
You know, she Septim's gonna turn to Una. I feel like Shandi would get everything she just said.
Yeah. And?
I don't know. It's just a thought.
But Shandi's going with Arlith. We've already established that.
Shandi has not agreed to that.
I mean, will he
wait.
say no?
Is she gone?
Yeah, she left.
Can I say to Septon? You know, I know both of the customs of their respective.
I thought you were
Dating
going with
practices.
Daphne.
No, I'm not saying for me. I'm just saying if you were, I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff we could start to put in
Or what?
if you were interested in having, you know, and seeing if Septon wanted to.
You mean Shandi?
Or sorry, Shandi. Oh my God.
Spoken for with.
No, I know.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it will, says Maeve.
Couldn't fuck it up more than I did last year.
From what I hear, that's probably true.
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
but then, okay, so
nothing
Sean.
wrong
Okay.
with us just saying to Shandi, hey, Cynthia was talking about, like,
Yeah.
the proper procedure to go on a date. She doesn't know what that is, or to get someone to go to the dance with her. And Shandi might just, of his own volition, go talk to her about that. Perhaps.
But on a logistical standpoint, I thought that the whole point of the homecoming dance was to invite people from outside the program.
I suppose that is true.
Whether they can, Shandi and Cynthia can talk all they want at the event. That's why I was trying to be like, it's a guest. It's just a guest. It's not a date. You know?
Why is it called the homecoming dance if there's no one to come home
What?
yet?
I can field this one, I think. Everett, this is home, and we're coming back to it. That's why it's called homecoming.
No, but here's the thing: is there's no alumni, as it were.
Right,
Right?
but
We're already here.
But we're returning to school, and the dance is being held in honor of that.
Oh,
Right. It's not about
Okay.
people coming back who've graduated. It's about the students, you, coming back.
that makes sense. Moon agrees. Good job, bud. We're very proud.
I wish I could see it.
Heather just says, there's too many people. Far too many people.
A lot of people here.
I'll bring up food for the other one. What
Okay.
room?
Maeve says it's just up to the left, it's top left. You make your way on up. You knock a few times. You hear some movement, and then the door creaks open. You see Karak standing there. Hello.
Hello, I am Heather, and you might know me as the second year person at this school. And we made breakfast, and I know you were out all night, but we have food that we made, and you can have the food. I brought it to you.
What do you mean you know I was out all night?
Oh, some nights I turn into a owl and I fly around campus, and you've been in the training field.
Oh yeah. Do you turn into a green owl?
Yeah, I've been watching you.
I saw that. Yeah. I was wondering if that was just like a thing here, but it was just you.
Yeah, I can't actually like look like an actual animal. I don't know why. It's always green and ugly.
Why are you a mushroom?
Why do you talk to your sword?
Well, it's probably similar. You have an aura that reminds me of some people I used to know. And they weren't mushrooms, but they could make people into stuff. So I didn't know if you knew them. I mean, and he holds up his claw. I feel like I also am like that. Unless you were born a mushroom, in which case this is probably a little bit rude.
I wasn't a mushroom, so I guess you're right.
I mean, sorry, I'm not good at talking, so. Thanks for the food, I guess.
It was a druidic cult of Zuktamoy?
Oh, demon?
Demon Prince, yeah.
Archdevil, so. I guess former Archdevil.
Thank goodness we have representation on both sides of the hells.
Yeah, when I was before, I sort of slipped through planes a lot. Like I couldn't stay on one plane, but an Archdevil got me. And he put these on, and then I stayed in one place, but it wasn't like a good place. So I took his sword and I killed him with it. What about you? Did you go to the Abyss?
No, mine's a lot more simple. It's just a druidic cult that's trying to bring the domain of Zuktamoy into the material plane.
Oh.
And they wanted to make a tether and get it.
Oh.
I was deemed too weak and they tried to kill me.
Oh, but she lived. Probably pretty strong then.
Thank you.
I mean, it wasn't a compliment, but you're welcome.
Oh, sorry for taking it as a compliment.
It wasn't like an insult either. It was just sort of a statement of fact.
Oh, sorry, I misinterpret that.
I have trouble with it too.
Trouble with what?
Figuring out what people are talking about.
Yeah. Don't go to economics.
I wasn't gonna go to economics.
Yeah, but they make you go to 2 a week.
Yeah, I'm going to survival and I'm going to monster studies. Because those are the only ones.
Monster studies?
Yeah, it's today.
I was not paying attention.
Well, now you know.
There's an aviary above where we were learning that.
Like with birds?
Yeah.
Can we eat them?
I don't know. I could ask.
We should ask.
Yeah. Oh, I know it wasn't a compliment, but I should return the compliment. You're probably strong too for killing a.
I'm strong.
Nice.
I'm stronger than any of those guys, but they know a whole lot more than I do, so they're kind of leading the charge with this whole assessment thing. I kind of just know how to hit stuff, but I'm good at it.
Well, find your niche and all that.
Yeah. Do you also not sleep?
Oh no. Stepton, he's the orange one. He makes food sometimes that keeps you up.
Oh. Okay. Well, if you're ever not sleeping again, you could come train with me if you want.
I did for a couple weeks last year. My training consisted of I just had the guards hit me a bunch for an hour.
I'll make you tough.
Yeah, I grew more bark.
Nice. Yeah, I've got literally pretty thick skin for similar reasons. So.
Have you tested the depth
of my skin?
Yeah.
No, but that's a good idea. That'd be good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the food.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. And he grabs the plate and closes the door. All right. as you head backstairs, that is where we'll end tonight's session of Dungeon Party. I like that both the first 2 sessions of this season ended with a really awkward conversation with a guy who can't talk to people, so that's good. I hope Karek ends every session from here on out. I hope so. All right, we are off next week for the Super Bowl, but we'll be back the week after that for the tactics assessment. So we're gonna do combat. I promise. unless you guys decide that we don't do combat by making some strategy that prevents it, which is possible. But yeah. Okay. Oh, actually, you know what? We might not, because there's a dance on Saturday and Isla's throwing a party on Sunday. So now that I think about it, we probably won't do combat next time.
Yeah, those are 1 session each, at least.
God.
No.
We'll get to combat eventually. All right. Thank you guys so much for playing. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not currently playing a TTRPG, you absolutely should, because it's the only place where you can not sleep for 3 days in a row. You can't do that in any other game.
You shouldn't do that in any other game.
You shouldn't do that ever.
MMORPG.
I mean, if... yeah.
It's on its way.
It's on its way. There's only 6 people I need to play this RPG with, and most of them are right here. So. Okay.
There's only 5.
Good night.
Bye, I guess.
Bye.